Hello, everybody, and welcome to Non-Effort, starring Wax Steven
and his ISP.
Wax Steven may or may not vanish at any point during this broadcast. Wack has had internet problems for 2 days, possibly up to a week, because they were happening last Friday, I remember.
It's been like a week.
Yep.
And hilariously, during last week's episode of Non-Effort, we spent a good long time talking about how annoying it is when you have tech issues just before a show goes live, how guilty you feel when all of your players show up in full dress
up.
and makeup. And then you have to sit there and be like, I'm dropping frames, I'm dropping 60% frames, we can't run this show, I'm so sorry, what the fuck? And then you have to just send them all on, having wasted not just 10 minutes of time while the stream was live, but at least an hour of makeup time. And then the following Thursday, after we spoke about this at great length, the exact thing happens to Wax Steven on main character. How do you feel about it, Wack?
Yeah, I was ready to vomit.
It's the worst feeling, man. I hate it so much.
Yeah.
Everybody was in full costume. I'm just like, I'm so sorry. I apologized about 800 times. Felt fucking horrible. Still feel horrible because it's still not sorted. And I was on the phone with the ISP all morning.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
Cool.
And yeah, hopefully get that resolved soon. But who the fuck knows? I don't know if you remember, but do you remember like in the beginning when I first joined Tablestory when I think it was during the early episodes of Darkfire and I had to connect via tablet to the show.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was that time, but my internet went out we had like a major storm and my internet was out for like a good like 2 weeks or something. And it was bonkers. I just had to sit there and wait and get it sorted. And it sucked.
That sucks.
It sucked. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, connecting to any show remotely is the worst. I remember running, it was pre-Tablestory, but I was running a show called Fractured Worlds on John Sandman's channel. And I had to do that for 4 weeks from a laptop in a Airbnb.
What?
In an Airbnb in California.
Oh my god.
It was horrible. And that was
awful.
DMing, you know, because you're like, I had one laptop screen. I might have plugged in another screen while I was there or something, but I don't know. Horrible. Or worst feeling. Well, second worst feeling. Definitely the person who is feeling the worst out of the three of us tonight, who will not probably be participating in much of the conversation, is Pumpkinberry, and that is because
I'm rendering the fucking schedule, bro.
She is suffering a sugar crash after eating an entire pack of Haribo.
It wasn't.
Got any left?
Oh shit! She just realized how much of her stomach is gummy bear.
Wow! Did the whole super mix. Oh, there's a good bit left. You can do the rest of them while we're doing this.
I thought it was going to be a 5-pound bag. That grounded me a little bit more. I thought it was going to be a big fucking bag.
It's a bag of UK Haribo super mix. So.
Wack, did you see what Brad sent me?
I have not.
Okay, are you ready?
I'm assuming it's the Haribo, but is it more?
You know who this is?
No idea. What the fuck is it?
Let me keep going.
Is it from Wild?
Nope. You don't recognize those lips?
No,
I don't even know if you can see them. Can you see the lips?
Yeah.
I can.
Okay. You don't recognize the lips of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ?
It's Jesus Christ.
You sent Jesus Christ blanket to PV?
Now,
Holy shit.
I would like to take a moment, everybody, to remember
holy shit.
To remember last week when I said this time next week I will have won this.
Uh-huh. Play the clip.
I win.
I win.
I said I would win because you were being bratty and irritating and extremely annoying last week, and I said it's all good. I'll get you.
You got me.
Got him. Hi everyone. Welcome to Non-Effort.
Died for PB's warmth.
This is our sort of weekly chit chat podcast, money making stream.
Take a picture and send it to my mother.
Oh my god.
Hey mom, just chilling out, playing some Final Fantasy. Sorry, I'm so sorry.
The aim of tonight's stream is for us to try and make as much money as we possibly can.
Yes.
By grifting you and blackmailing you into unlocking
That's
different.
A bit much. Blackmail? Really?
Yeah. This is
welcome to Twitch streaming.
I'm sorry.
If they don't raise enough money for us tonight, we will shut down the entire channel. I mean, it's blackmail. Or charity. It's blackmail or charity.
Yep.
Whichever one you feel more comfortable.
Fundraising.
It's fundraising.
We get to hear the real PB story this week. I told it last week.
Oh yeah, what's the other one? PB's urine story?
No.
What was it? Finger?
Nope. The finger story, yeah.
I don't know if we can just incentivize something that says PB's finger story. But we will.
I think it'll be easy.
But we will. Top of the board, PB's finger story.
Jesus Christ.
We're on the wrong website. Wrap him around you. You need him more than ever.
He is.
He will protect you.
In my lap.
From the finger. So there are
prayers and blankets.
There are many subjects on the side of the screen here that can be unlocked. Each subject will be unlocked. It doesn't mean that we'll change subject immediately, but it will unlock the subject as we talk through varying things tonight. You can unlock that with money by clicking one of the varying links. There's some going through the chat. There's some underneath the stream. And if you want to throw a few bucks our way, if you enjoy anything on Tablestory, or you just want to make sure the WAC is able to afford the business upgrade internet connection that they're going to force him to do next week as they slowly throttle his internet more and more and more, forcing him into a corner, monopolizing their control over him. Then please do so, and as we unlock the different subjects here, we'll get to them and we'll chat about them if you're interested in anything that we have to say. Now, normally we handpick several questions from our Discord. However, this week is a little special something, because this is temporarily the last episode of Non-Effort for the next for the next 4 weeks. As of next week, and for the next 4 Fridays after that, PB will be GMing D&D.
Don't die.
5e.
Yes.
We're doing 2025. It will be the 2024 D&D rule set, and this will be its maiden voyage on Tablestory. I would like to actually note, PB, that you have taken from me 2 unique selling points of my next campaign. One of them being this,
What's the other one?
Well, we'll find out.
We'll find out next week.
We'll find out.
You've taken almost everything unique and interesting about my next campaign, and you are flippantly going to run a D&D 5e campaign as of next Friday. It's called Don't Die. So if you want to tune in next week, that's what it'll be. It's PB's turn to run us through a version of non-canon. It has nothing to do with non-canon. It's a completely original thing, but it's the same idea. It's the same idea.
I'm so sorry. I had candy. Why did I do this to us again?
She'll crash in 35 to 40 minutes.
Yep. And then I'll be like with the Jesus blanket on my lap.
Yeah. And then we will return to Non-Effort. So if you do have questions and things, please continue to submit them.
Is that what happened to you when you called me 800 times about Dragonlance? Was it candy related?
No.
Oh my god.
No.
I was wondering what the impetus was for that.
No. I just,
Christ.
you know.
We'll get to that in a second. So if you would like to continue to submit questions in the Discord channel for non-effort, then please do. Just because we may not have gotten to your questions doesn't mean that we won't do in the future. I would like if people could just make sure that they put something, maybe a hashtag or something like hashtag question. That way it makes it a bit easier to like Control F and find the questions in future. So continue to submit questions because non-effort will come back after Don't Die, and we'll need questions for that first week as well. So yeah, there's a lot of good questions in there, and I'm aware of them. It's just we only get to a handful of them every week, and then I go and do something, and then I go and spoil it all by doing something special like Murgle's Week. It's Murgle's Week here on non-effort. 4 of those questions were submitted by Murgles, because she was getting really annoyed with me last week because she was typing questions in the chat room and we weren't answering them. And then she typed later on, she said, Brad fucking hates me and is specifically not answering my questions. She was getting petulant and crazy about it. And then I messaged her and said, you spent the whole night thinking I was taking questions from chat when they were all submitted on Discord, and you were slowly getting furious, and I was collecting them for next week. And I showed her the print screens with the time that I was collecting her questions from the chat room with the intention of specifically answering just her questions because I love her. And she said back, you're a piece of shit. Then she called me a slur and then blocked me on Discord. So I just want everyone to be aware of that.
Sounds legit.
She called me a little girl.
That's a slur to you?
Look at me. Look upon the physical specimen of strength before you. The masculine energy. No, I currently look like an ad salesman for small. Yeah, you know what? That's a safer joke. That's a safer joke. Do you want me to type what I was going to say in our little chat? Or...
I'm just going to keep going.
No, she didn't say anything bad to me, but I did collect 4 questions from her, 2 from last week's chat, and then I badgered her throughout the week to get 2 more. But I am going to take 1 more question from the chat room. So if you in the chat room right now could submit a question, well, not a question, a subject or a topic that you might be interested in us talking about, we'll put that up on a vote, and then in there you'll see chat's question will change to whatever question that is. Do I have a mod? Yes. Piranha Plant will be collecting the questions from or topic changes from chat, and we're going to switch to those when we get to them. Now, I do want to sort of swing back a little bit here. Dressed as I am, swinging back and forth, as it certainly looks like I do in this particular outfit. I want to talk about the fact that PB completely misunderstood in an astonishing way what Dragonlance was about.
Oh, yeah.
For a good hour?
It's
longer?
The only... No, God,
it was like
my
half
whole
a day. Has it been your whole life? You just made up in your head what Dragonlance was, and just with a whole... never did a Google, never asked anyone, and then got all the way to the point where you were trying to convince Whack to run a game of Dragonlance before finding out what it even is.
Well, I had an idea of what it is. It's like the time that I found out that milk... I'm going to regret telling this story. That chocolate milk did not come from brown cows. I was like 11 or 12.
Oh, my God.
Now, hear me out.
Wait a second. Hold on. What are you saying right now? What are you trying to tell me? My whole life has been a lie.
Doesn't every kid have that, though? Yeah, but is every kid like 11 or 12 when they find out the truth? You know? No. But does PB know gullible isn't in the dictionary? Listen, okay? When you're a kid, you trust your parents for the most part, right? until you learn otherwise, you just accept that as the truth or whatever, you know? It was one of those things where it just never came up again. We didn't have milk in Okinawa. It was powder, and I hated it. So it didn't come up again until I was 12 in the United States, and I went, what? When somebody said that it wasn't true. So, okay. It was one of those situations where I was just like, I just assumed, oh, Dragonlance, it's got dragons in it. You get to be a dragon rider. How exciting would that be? And then, yeah, I found out that that's not at all what you know, the lance part of the Dragonlance is to lance dragons. They kill dragons. It's the opposite of what I was hoping for. Yeah, so.
I was trying to navigate your knowledge with trying not to spoil too much for you, because I know how insane you are with spoilers. So I was trying to tiptoe around everything while still telling you, I think you'll like it, but it's not this.
In this whole highlight debacle on Twitch, where we have to delete all of our highlights and whatnot, my mod team knows there are 2 highlights to save on the channel. One, my random, out of nowhere Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio TED Talk, and the highlight of me finding out about Dragonlance and calling Whack live. It's the only 2 things we're keeping. Because it was ridiculous. How was I supposed to know you kill dragons? There's a book series too, like the Dragon Riders of Pern or some shit.
It's like
so
literally the opposite of what you
that.
thought it was.
Yeah, it's the opposite.
Basically.
It's like dark and horrible and killing dragons, and I wanted a little dragon
You
egg
want
that
how to train your dragon.
I want how to train your dragon. I want a big, strong dragon that no one can hurt or kill, that will never leave me and thinks I'm special and loves me forever. Who doesn't want that? We'll unpack it later, Bradley. I heard that.
I didn't say anything.
Just wrap yourself in that blanket right now.
Yeah. Bring Jesus back. Is it legit a comfortable blanket?
It's wonderful.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
Good.
Do you feel more religious
Very
while
soft.
it's wrapped around you?
Yeah, I could say a prayer or 2 right now. Pretty good.
There he is.
I thought it was fucking Lucian Lord for a second. Wrong Lord.
I mean, yeah.
That would have been
I wouldn't
crazy.
say no. Yeah, that would have been pretty crazy.
Just a
Oh,
Lucy
good
Lord
Yeah.
blanket. Available at
Do it.
tablestory.tv.merch.Lucian Lord. Yeah, we're gonna be putting out many different blankets along with Jesus Christ in the coming months of varying different mythological
we could become
characters.
a church, the Church of Tablestory, and then we don't have to pay taxes.
I think that's a cult, and it's a slippery slope.
Yep, please. No, I don't want to go anywhere near that.
No?
If that's possible. Thank you.
But we need your expertise.
Imagine the life-changing turn. Baby becomes a cult consultant.
Oh,
A consultant.
God.
A consultant.
Oh.
Consultant.
I've left my body.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Have another piece of candy. Delicious.
Pavlovian.
I feel like, yeah, it was a mistake, perhaps, to have
Send me a
sent
bag
you
of delicious
a
candy.
bunch of candy. Yeah, I mean, you were sort of saying that it might. It sounds to me like it has activated what?
I'm just waiting for whatever you're going to say it's activated. I'm very
A
curious.
relapse, because you were talking about how
100%.
you wanted to go and buy a big.
Why
a
did
bunch
you
of
have
junk
to
food.
bring that up? Because now I have to explain the embarrassing story again in front of all of these people.
No,
instead of
you can
my
just
chat.
say that you haven't had a lot of junk food recently, and that you've had some
Whack,
sweets,
you
and
know
now
the
you kind
story?
of want some more. You don't
no.
have to tell them the
I know.
entire story.
I can tell it
about-
though. Whack, do you know the story?
No.
Okay. So, you know what? Brad, you need to tell the story. I've decided. How about we get the Brad version of
Let me
this story?
see if I can remember a story that I heard 30 minutes ago.
Cue the ungodly music.
You got it, pal. Whatever you want.
Thank you. Thank you.
From what I remember of the story being told 30 minutes ago
Mhm.
while I was
Yep.
desperately trying to cook food and eat it, you went during 2024, a year of prospering for Pumpkinberry. She
Yep.
really enjoyed 2024, as did
Yep.
we all, I think. I too really enjoyed that year. You decided to treat yourself to some candy and stuff. You
Some
went
snacks.
to the you went to this near the store near you, and
That's right.
you bought a
Right.
bunch of stuff, a bunch of
got,
different
like,
candies and
Ruffles,
crisps and cakes.
chips.
I don't. You named a bunch of brands, and I didn't know what any
Yep.
of them were.
It's just like, chips and shit and goldfish and Pringles and Ruffles and,
Yeah.
I just got a bunch of fucking junk food
Yeah,
thinking like, yeah, this will last me a week or two.
yeah. So you take an entire thing of
Mhm.
junk food up to the cashier.
Yep.
I love that we trained Brad to say it, by the way. A thing of.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I have to speak in American for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at it, I think. And
Yeah.
you take the thing of junk food, I wouldn't say junk food
Mhm.
either, up to the cashier, which, is the normal thing you do. And it's a Friday night, and he
Yep.
starts ringing up your stuff, and he looks at
Mhm.
you and says, "Oh, you're having people over tonight, Friday night." having a little party. That's cool. Whack. What would you have said in that situation?
If it was me that
Yeah.
this person said it
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Few quick zingers. I think the first one would have been, oh no, I'm gonna try and eat this in 30 minutes after I get home.
That would have worked.
That would have been
I would have just
amazing.
lied. I would have literally
Yeah,
just
you would have been like, yeah?
yeah, I'm having a party, and that would have been the end of it. Yep.
No.
That's what I would have said. I would have just pretended I was like
I
blazing.
wouldn't be able
just,
to look this guy in the eye
oh,
if I
dude,
lied.
I would have just said that like me and some boys, we're gonna get stoned, we're gonna get super high, and this is some snacks. We're gonna have LAN party. PB just went, no.
And Wax,
Dude.
the look on his face, bro. The look of like, oh no,
Oh,
no,
no.
oh.
It's the.
Like he
it's
went
the,
through like 4 emotions of like, oh, I fucked up. Oh my god.
it's
That's so
the-
sad.
it's the. When are you due question?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
exactly what I
yeah.
said.
That's what Brad said exactly.
I was cooking food, and I ran back
Yep.
to my computer and typed, "When are you due?"
Yep.
It is
Yep.
so horrible.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible. And then it gets better, Whack. Are you ready? Motherfucker
ready.
doesn't charge me for a bag of chips or a fucking drink. And he makes up some shit about how, oh, the expiry is next week, so I can't, I'm not allowed to charge you for this. And I'm like, I don't want fucking pity chips and just give me my Arizona tea, you motherfucker.
Wow.
Oh! And I ate it all. And it was great.
Yeah, there's something about
Just to be fair, I feel like both Brad and I did not doubt that.
yeah.
That wasn't a question.
I know. Okay. Well,
There's something about just like having a full demonic relapse and eating that whole thing though.
there's nothing left.
We know. We know. The
We know.
We've been watching you eat them for the last hour.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing like going and just buying a bunch of junk food like that though. It feels so
Mm-hmm.
good to do, but you do feel awful when you have to like ring it up.
Mm-hmm.
I go to self checkout for anything like that all the time
It's too
because it
small
just
of a
it
store for
makes me
self-checkout,
it
but-
makes me feel like I am just like it reminds me of just being high and having
Yeah.
I'd been smoking all day and I've just got the munchies and you just look, you know. That's the only thing I would think. If I was a cashier, I'd be like, oh, yeah, they're blazing. They're
Oh, that
smoking."
person's fucking high as hell.
Now,
Okay.
were whippets a problem for you as a kid? Do you know what those are?
I feel like isn't whippets the thing where you sniff a?
No, you do the it's the gas. So like people would buy whipped cream or they'd buy like dust off.
Cheese Whiz.
Yeah, the chemicals that are in that for the propellant or whatever, it gets you high. So like a lot of stuff would be flagged in grocery stores. Like you'd need ID for like a can of dust off or something for your PC.
Oh, what?
So,
wow.
yeah. So like you could always tell somebody would get like a bunch of snacks and like a couple cans of dust off or like whipped cream or something. And it'd just be like,
oh.
dude, I mean, really? Like, come on. Just let me live my life, you know? That's what
I should have said to the cashier. I should have looked him dead in the eye and just been like, just let me live my life, man.
Yeah. That would have been devastating.
Fuck, could you imagine?
It would have been so horrible for him.
Oh, fuck.
Man, I wish that we had more characters when I'm just setting up the poll so that we can have questions pulled from the chat, but it is I have to somehow like
have a heart
abbreviate
attack.
them down. Are you okay? Is it too much
He's
sugar?
going so fast. It's so much sugar.
It'll slow down dramatically once that sugar really sinks its teeth into your bloodstream.
Okay.
Do you have any weights around? Start
I do actually.
taking advantage of it.
I do actually. I could raise my standing desk as well. Do a little dance. I was laughing because I have been enjoying DJ streams on Twitch. And I'll be like standing desk and I'll be doing work and the DJ's going and I'm just like dancing at my desk. So I was like, I could do that. Yeah. It's good shit, man. It's good shit. Twitch is a pretty cool place sometimes.
Poll in the chat.
How much did they pay you to say that?
Questions that we can add to the thing. The bar is not automatically updating, I don't think either, so I need to keep checking this manually. I'm really glad I don't have to do this again next week. I have really enjoyed doing these Friday streams with you guys. I've really enjoyed doing a weekly Tablestory thing.
I am having a heart attack. What's happening?
With my two, this is going to kill
dying?
it. With my two Tablestory pals. Try and make it less dangerous.
You
made it. You made it weird.
I will say, I'm looking forward to having a week off, having to run the stream, and just show up as legitimately just as a player or a.
Love that you think that that's going to happen, and PB isn't going to force you to do it anyway.
What?
Well, I don't have to run.
This.
I don't have to run the OBS, and I don't have to set up all this stuff. I can just like fuck around until 5 minutes before and just show up.
Yep.
And play. I get to play a game. I get to be a player.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And I'm
With
really
me, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
When was the last time?
And you guys aren't
Spellwind?
min-maxing, so I'm looking forward to that.
Spellwind, and then the last time we were players together before that, was it literally the first game we ever met? Oh, Stygian.
Yep.
Stygian,
and then like a long form campaign. Yeah, Northern Winds.
Wow.
What?
Me and Wack almost
3
never get
total.
to play with each other, and the only thing that we dream
Except for the
about is
pictures.
playing with each other. We've always wanted to play with each other more. What are you laughing at? What the fuck? The hell's wrong with you?
I think I'm having a heart attack.
I mean,
Could you imagine if it actually happened?
honestly,
That's how I go.
Yes,
I
honestly,
can.
I do.
I actually genuinely can believe that to
With
be
the
the way
Jesus
that you go.
blanket, probably no pants on underneath,
Wrapped around
no
you.
underwear
I have
too.
shorts on. I have
Died
shorts
from
on.
a pack of Haribo. Can you imagine the fact that I would have to live with that forever? That I sent the silver bullet.
It'd be the only thing that makes her happy as she goes.
That's why she ate another one.
Let's go, baby. If this is how I go, let's go.
Licking the inside of the bag.
All right. Well, if we could get a $5 donation, we can change the subject, and maybe PB will stop
Not
eating.
have a heart attack.
Well, it was more that we can get you to stop eating by start talking.
Well, there are only 4 left.
Do them all at once.
No, I don't want to do that. I waste them. You know, they taste good.
Or you can suck the life out of them for the next hour.
I might do that for the green one. It's my favorite. The green and the yellow ones. Sorry.
I want you guys to
Like-
know that I bit down on my tongue so hard, so as not to make a
Just
joke.
now? Oh, okay.
And I want you to be proud of me for that one.
I'm so proud of you.
Sure.
I spent
Sure.
the whole day being
Sure, table story, pal.
violently attacked on my own
We should
stream.
change our collective titles as storytellers to table story pals.
Table Story Pals.
Table Story Pals is pretty good.
It's just what the three
That's
of
the
us
name of
get.
the next campaign.
Table Story Pals.
Table Story Pals.
There
Yep.
we go.
Thank you so much for
Anonymous.
the
Hey,
tips,
do you have
everybody.
the? Do you
Thank you.
have the? Yes, thank you for the tips, everybody. Do you have the Don't Die trailer ready? Could you play that for everyone, real quick,
I could.
while I
Why?
scold you? Because I think I might actually be having a heart attack. No, I'm just kidding. Will you just play it real quick?
I can
I'll
do.
a couple more.
Yeah, I can do that for you. We just
Just
got. Okay,
Mhm.
here you go. It is the Table
What?
Story Don't Die
fucked.
ad.
Get fucked.
We just got what? I can't see what's
got
happening.
tips.
I'm eating
Got
candy.
tips.
Yeah, well.
There's an extra one.
Nope, that is not one serving, says Wax Steven. It is. It is one serving. Everyone. Oh, you just found out how much is it?
It says package contains approximately 7 portions.
7 portions for a small, thin little UK child, and not a fully grown adult capable of her own decisions.
Share size.
It's not share size. You're American.
Yeah, that's like a child size here.
Yeah, that's one handful for
I am
Orcish.
a child size.
You're
She's
6
standing
foot 4.
up right now. That's her.
Yes.
That's her height. That's her full height.
All right, let's have a quick look. We're going to get onto the first subject here. The first topic, the question that we're going to be taking from chat will be added in as well. That has been voted on. Thank you very much, everyone, for submitting questions and voting on questions. But the first question comes from, let's see here, Murgles. And it says, are there any settings you absolutely would never want to GM? And if you were forced to, how would you change it up to interest you more? I don't know what PB said there. She shouted something, but I have no idea if she's
I
even
think it was
coming back.
craft work. I don't know why that's a setting, but it is in PB's world.
The German
I
progressive.
said Lancer.
Oh, Lancer. Yeah, I don't think any of us would
I'm just
be
kidding.
too excited to run. I think actually it would be way different
It's
now.
probably fine. We
fair-
were playing an alpha, you know?
To
Yeah.
be fair, the question said settings, right?
Yeah, it says
Oh, yeah, okay,
settings,
okay,
but
okay,
this is
okay,
also
okay. Be
from
fair.
Murgles, so
Just to
could
be
mean
fair,
anything.
I would say I actually quite like the Lancer setting.
Yes, the
setting is
setting,
good.
the mechs,
That's
the mechs
true.
are awesome. Also, I genuinely, again, we played in alpha, and I think part of the reason why we have such like not great memories about that is from the community comments on YouTube being
I only
like, you
have
guys
good
got this
memories
rule
about it.
wrong.
I love the setting. I mean, I love the mechanics
I got
of
to
the
play
game.
Gundam.
I actually enjoyed building my ship every week, and that there was that little app that we used.
I also liked the battles.
I
thought the battles were sick as fuck.
I really enjoyed the fact that you can get in and out of the mech. There was a lot of stuff around that and all those kinds of things.
And they had such a variety of mechs to choose from. I remember
what I
your mech
hated
as well.
was the fact that it was hard sci-fi, and then people would come in and be like, you calculated trajectory wrong. It's 7 years on planet, and you're like,
Or they'll correct like the rules now on YouTube, and we're like, hey guys, we were playing before this was actually a book. Like we had a Google Doc to work with. It was alpha, so just keep that in mind.
It was the calculations on whack every week. You said they went through an event horizon and experienced 60.58 psi gravitational pull, but at 60.58 gravitational pull, they would have experienced 34 years of travel, not 33. And dude, I was going spare every week. Like I was losing my mind, and I wasn't GMing. If I was GMing, it would have hollowed me out.
It did. Yep, it did.
But
it did.
The actual settings, and if we were just playing Lance around a table and we didn't have an audience watching it and commenting on it, I don't think we would have had any problem with it whatsoever with it.
It's extremely accurate what you just said, Keeper. War flashbacks. I'm hearing the fucking helicopter, fucking Valkyries.
His eyes are going like sideways, like bullets pinging overhead.
So settings wise, I don't know. Like, I have to be honest. I don't like shitting on other people's settings. Really. I know how hard it is to make them.
Yeah. I also don't know if there's any that I just wouldn't want to try. I don't think there's a single one that I'm not like, yeah, I'd be willing to try that. I know Brad's answer though.
What's mine?
Anthropomorphic animals, anything.
I wouldn't run it. No, I don't think. I think I would still rather run anthropomorphic animals than run hard sci-fi for the same reason. As
I do have one.
But I don't have a specific saying. I don't think.
So this one is kind of 50-50 for me. Okay, but it's honestly the closest one that I'm like, it does not really interest me at all. Dune.
Oh, really?
Yeah, fuck that.
What?
Dune.
Both of you say that?
Well, the answer that I was percolating on in my head was generally just really well-established IPs. I was so scared of Star Wars. There's only a handful of things that I could get anywhere near the level of accuracy that I could with Star Wars. WoW, how much of a fan I am of WoW.
Yep.
But any sort of IP like that, Dune and stuff, there is so many people out there who, there are two types of people that I'm afraid of. The people who are like the fedora wearing Redditors who will correct absolutely everything that you say and do at all times, and it makes it unbearable to try and produce something that you love and that other people can enjoy and experience. And then you just have these people that are just a stick in the mud constantly. And also there's the flip side of it, that I am genuinely ruining it for people who know the saying, like
who love it.
Something like
part of it.
Something like Dune, something like Lord of the Rings, something like Star Wars. If you sort of fumble it, you're just kind of ruining something that people love, and it's just not worth it. And it's scary, and it's a lot more pressure than I think.
Hold on, I'm just going to delete some folders off my hard drive real quick.
No. Well, we've all done an IP: Star Wars, Blade Runner, Lord of the Rings. And I'm not saying it's not possible for us, or that you shouldn't attempt it. It's just that there are some that I would like to do that I actually don't think I would confidently be able to do well enough for one reason or another. Dune is one of them for sure.
Yeah,
that's fair.
For me, it's mostly, there's a lot of sci-fi ones that I just have no interest in running.
Oh, I did have an answer. D&D 5e. But here we go.
Hang on, I'm running the ad.
So no, that's not a setting. That's a system.
Yeah, true.
That's true. That's true.
Are you talking about the Forgotten Realms?
No. That's
If you're going to
fine.
run any of them, it has to be Forgotten Realms at this point. There's so much information out there to pull
Oh,
from.
really?
So there's.
I thought this was over last week. You've gotten so comfortable.
I'm sorry. No, it's not comfort. It's sugar.
All right.
Entire bag of sugar. I'm sorry. I'm behaving.
We're waiting for you to speak back. You were
Mhm.
speaking.
So I was just gonna say, I mean, there's several D&D settings. You got a lot of them.
Planescape.
So there's Eberron, which is what system version was that? Was that 4?
No idea.
Was that 4E? I
It
don't
wasn't
remember.
3-5.
Yeah, it wasn't.
I think
Was that
Eberron's
high?
cool, by the way. I'm
Yeah,
kind of an
yeah.
Eberron fan. It's all the
I didn't
Warforged and
think.
trains.
I didn't
and
think that one
monorails.
was 3-5.
So there's Greyhawk, which I think was 2E. I mean, there's a bunch of different ones. So I think they all kind of
The
depend.
Scion one was 2nd edition, right? I think. Right, chat? Chat will know. Greyhawk is 1st edition.
Oh,
Kai
is it?
knows all of these, yeah. Is it Kai or K? An original D&D, okay. Good
Okay.
to know, good to know, good to know.
But yeah, there's all different ones. So I got to be honest. Probably, I'm not super familiar with all of the settings. But I've always found Forgotten Realms to be kind of meh.
Forgettable?
Yeah, very forgettable. Everything's kind of played on the Sword Coast. I think it's kind of like just really obvious in general. It's just a very generic.
I feel
sort
like
of
that's
experience.
honestly. I agree with you, but I think that's its appeal,
Right.
and I think that's
Yeah.
its
the main
purpose.
reason why it's
Right?
done.
It's just
Yep.
a generic. Because I think here's the thing. Because I have this issue a lot. I've had this issue somewhat in building my next setting. In that I think it's hard to sell a 5e setting or a D&D or a fantasy setting without having a lot of those elements in it. If you want to have a sort of normal, typical fantasy story, that's the setting you want it to be in. You know, if you were going to tell a story that was
Mhm.
designed to be a typical fantasy story, you want the
It's less
setting
work.
to be,
Yeah.
that sort of look.
less
You want
work.
it to be Lord of the Rings. You want it to be Gridania. You know, that's the look. That
Oh my
idyllic,
god!
that idyllic
Weren't they coming out with that,
look
actually?
thing, I think is the approach, and that has to be why that they approach that with what is it called, Faerun?
Yes.
Yes.
And then because then when you
Wait,
look at
it's
all of
out
their other
already?
stuff, their other stuff is super specific. This is why I find some of the other ones really interesting, like the Dark Sun. I think that's cool. I also have a weird kind of, I can't help it, but I have a sort of slight love for that old, like those old 80s Conan the Barbarian style art.
Yeah.
You know,
Dragonlance.
the Dragonlance looking art. I love that. There was I almost went for that with Cura in a way.
That like Frank Franzetta sort of look.
Yeah,
That,
weird
like,
sort of.
Old school Conan. like-
Yeah. Kind of contrasty. Everyone's naked. It's like there's a high saturation to a lot of it as well. I love that kind of look and that style. And if I was like that sort of aesthetic, I think is fun to aim for. I don't know if we've gone. I can't even remember what the question was. What settings?
What setting would
you
settings
not
do
wanna
you
run? Yeah, I think for me it's IPs and hard sci-fi. Anything
My god.
hard sci-fi.
The Final Fantasy 14 core book and stuff is already out. I had no idea.
For what? A TTRPG?
Yeah.
They're doing one?
They did one. It's out already.
Oh.
Thank you so
okay.
much for the tips, everybody. My God.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You've unlocked another question from Merkles. This question says,
Using ideas.
yeah, But it says reusing ideas, but the question is like eight sentences long. She says, not sure if you guys have answered it already. I can tell you right now that we have, I think, many times in the past, but I don't think on this.
Okay.
But for those ideas that your players never run into or overwrite with different choices, how often do you end up reusing those ideas in other stories? And do you have an example of one you would be willing to share?
That's a good question.
For me, it is very random. If it's reusable, I will.
Yeah.
If it isn't, I do discard a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Even if I've built it, sometimes I'll have like battle maps and everything like ready to go. Unique creatures that I've made with fucking tokens and stuff, and I'm like, there's just
and then
nowhere
your player goes
for this.
Right instead of left,
Yeah.
and you're like, fuck it.
There's nowhere for this to go because it was. For me, it's like a lot of the time if it's like locked in, like you're in the ice temple, and I've made an ice monster that is very clearly part of this temple. You can't really put that ice monster in the next. They go to the desert, and now you've got this ice monster. You can switch as much of it as possible, but quite a lot of the time I'll just like be done with it. I'll be like, okay, well I can't use it again.
Same. Yeah,
if I can use it again, if I can just be like, well, the ice monster is now a sand and fire monster. Ooh, fight it. Roll initiatives. Then I'll do that.
I actually just realized a good example. So originally when I was working on Ungodly, it was a horror game, and I liked the concept of 3 players being chained together and the other 3 players chained together, and it's like straight up PvP. It's team A versus team B, and whoever makes it to the top escapes fucking hell. And then it turned into a comedy and whatnot, and that kind of idea just went out the window. But now I'm using it and don't die.
We just found that out too.
Sort of. Kind of. You'll see.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
Good luck.
What about you, Wank?
I don't know. I think there's some ideas and stuff that I've used here and there. It usually ends up getting changed drastically, but the core principle might still be there. Because I have to make it fit in a new setting or whatever. I think some of I feel like I've done it with some villains here and there. Aspects of a personality, and I'll kind of transplant them onto another villain. I think that more than anything. I don't think it's like a whole lot of
like NPCs or other characters. Yeah. Just plant them in and go, oh, here's a version of this character that may or may not have a different, past or whatever, but the core concept is the same.
Yeah.
Just because I know how to roleplay that and I know how their brain works.
I really think that that's about the limit of it. I don't know how many different areas or whatever I'm like, oh, I need to save this for another show. I think usually what ends up happening is it just gets forgotten.
I rarely take one from a show to another one.
Yeah.
Almost never, because there's just a chunk of time between my previous show and the new one in which my mind rewrites itself. I have no memory of anything that happened in Cura. I couldn't tell you anything that happened in it. I got a new show coming. I only have storage space for one thing in my brain at a time.
Brain storage space. He's got a maximum of 5 gigabytes.
When you click on like my computer or whatever, and it shows you your C drive in the red, and you're like, oh my God, I need to do a disk fragmentation or whatever it's called.
Defragmentation.
Yeah.
That's my brain.
Constantly.
At all times.
In a defragmenting state.
Yeah. So I have the only thing I can do,
just basic, normal adult stuff takes up 95% of Brad's brain.
Yeah.
And then he's got 5% left, and he's only dealing with, let's call it 5 gigabytes of storage in his whole brain.
I have to open my fucking door because my feet are hot because of this sugar. I'll be right back. I'm dying, you guys.
I think she actually is. I think that's a condition that we need to...
My feet are hot because of the sugar. I need to go open up my door.
T-shirt. Write it down. Get us the clip and the quote. It's going on a T-shirt for the beginning of Don't Die. Great.
I don't know how she exists sometimes. I just don't.
It is
How does that happen?
Okay,
pretty...
I'm back.
Okay, welcome
I've
back.
opened my door and turned my fan on.
Great.
I'm not gonna die, guys. It'll be great.
Don't die. Next question. Hang on. This came from someone else. This is not a Murgles. This is a submitted this evening question. To split as a sort of intermission. We're getting through them pretty quickly. To split
hell yeah.
the as an intermission question, we have a question from Bro the Boss 123. I don't think there's been a week that we haven't had a question from Bro. He loves this show. He's the #1 fan of the show. #1 fan of non-canon was Kipling, and #1 fan of this is Bro the Boss 123, 100%. The question is, what are your favorite psychological ideas to explore in your games?
I feel like PB probably has a million of these.
I mean, I feel like mine are pretty obvious because they just come up all the time. Identity, memory, all of, that is all wrapped up into one that almost always comes into play in any show that I'm running. And yeah, so that's my answer.
And apparently
anyway.
escaping from some sort of hell environment
Is that
another one.
Is that in all my games? Is it really?
Yeah.
Wait, for real?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah,
Let's
to
go
the
through
point where even no matter what, you'll just be like, yeah, you guys are in the DMV. Oh, you're not. Oh, hey, you guys are in a fantasy kingdom. What? Manhattan. in fucking everything.
Uh-oh.
But
Uh-oh. We're unpacking this.
but you were just
need to
it's
kill
the thing
Bill.
you were just talking about, the ungodly thing, and then you're doing it with Don't Die and stuff. I think you do.
Yep.
You come up with that. You like, I think, that thing a lot. That kind of.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's in every
The
show.
Matrix.
It doesn't. It's not in every show.
Well, I mean,
It's
that
just,
is
do
a
you like to
fundamental
explore?
part of me, like getting, being provided
Escaping
a
from a
play
hell
area.
environment.
Well, just, here's the world as you know it. And then at some point you have to question that.
Yeah. Let's
So that
completely
makes sense to me
shatter
that-
your perception of reality.
You're in Manhattan.
And yeah, is anything real? I feel like that is something that
Yeah.
you specifically make. I think you've done it with 3 of my characters, but I think we could probably argue maybe even a 4th. Do you know what I thought about that? I haven't thought about in a long time. Cerebrum Project.
Yeah.
Now, one of the weird things about Cerebrum Project, we're going to go off on a tangent real quick here.
Yeah.
But one of the things about
That's
Cerebrum
It's gonna be
Project.
1 second. I just have to feed Boo Boo.
Okay. Bye, boo boo.
In Cerebrum Project, it was so funny because the character you had me play was a group therapist character for the rest of the players, and I was this midway character. There were a couple of characters in this that were played by like characters like Mine and Fists and stuff were like these characters that were not quite with the core group of 4, I think it was. But they also weren't GMs. We just had a different set of information and a little more idea about what was going on than the main group. And you gave me this character. We then, and I don't know how I timed this so poorly, the first couple of weeks of that, I was onboarding or offboarding from citalopram and antidepressant, and it was so appropriate, but my brain was so fuzzy, and it gave me such a great position to work from. But
You heard it here first, folks.
sometimes that's the way I love to be in that mind space though. If you're like, oh, you're going to play a therapist, I'll be like, I'll come off my antidepressants for it. Like, I'll just stop doing them. It's very life threatening for me in real life, but it'd be the perfect place for me to project this character. Sometimes I think my character was the only real one in it, and everyone else wasn't real. But you never told me that, and it never felt that intense. Then you have me play, and this is not in order, but you also have had me play Blake, who spent the entire thing questioning reality. It's all like just was like, I will prove this one way or the other.
Yeah.
Then you had me play Erufia, who was like, I will question everything. I will have my Neo moment. I will rewrite reality, whatever it takes to figure this out.
Yep. However, I didn't create the character. I didn't create either of those characters. You did.
Handed me a script. No, I didn't. You didn't make the characters, but you gave me these characters and then put me in an environment where you were like, are you sure this is real? And then that's fucking, it is so difficult and so fun to prove something that reality is real.
Yeah.
I mean, people question it all the time. I genuinely have no idea if we're in a simulation.
Right now.
Yeah,
Me too.
I have
like,
no
am I
idea.
having a fucking meltdown? Is my shit malfunctioning and that's what I'm confusing as a sugar rush? Who
fucking
knows?
clue. If we're in a simulation, it is just impossible to prove.
Oh, we have to be. We have to be.
Well, this is what I mean. But now you've got to prove it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is what all my characters end up doing in your campaigns. So that, for me, I think is just a theme that you always place in front of players. It's just whether players are annoying enough like me where they're like, oh, I have to fucking figure this out.
Yep.
I mean, to be fair, 3 of those characters were far more intelligent than I am in real life. And so that was like how they were. Their IQ level is much higher. And so I played them as if they were like that, you know? So I think that is for sure a major theme that comes up.
Yeah, reality is one too.
Just
like, I think, isn't that that's the Philip K. Dick quote that I like the most, is reality is that which when you stop believing in it, it continues to exist, or something like that. It's something along those lines. Which is, I don't know if that's a Blade Runner quote or, excuse me, Electric Sheep. But you know, I think it's somewhere in there. He did a lot of it's a lot of fiction that was like that. He did Minority Report and all that kind of stuff, all the weird, you know, like mind shit and reality stuff. Yeah, he was the author behind that. So
yeah, I'm his biggest fan. I'm dressed like most of his characters today.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Yes, you are.
What about you,
Scuba
Wack? Do
diving
you
this
have psychological ideas that you enjoy? What is your favorite that you enjoy exploring in your games?
Hold on. I'm so sorry to interrupt you, Wack Steven. I'm so sorry. But Brad brought it up. Did Meyer show you the roasts that ChatGPT made up about you?
He did.
He literally, yeah. Okay. The one where it's like you look like you just found out Bluetooth wasn't a real person.
Oh, he sent you some offshoots? He sent me like 2 of them.
Oh, no. Yeah, he just showed me the screenshot of ChatGPT roasting you for no reason.
That's my entire stream today was just people roasting me the entire time.
I know. I was there for
It's your favorite environment, honestly.
It was pretty good.
It kind of is. It kind of is. It's very hard because I'm constantly unable to go full power. And it's a very frustrating place to be because it's like, you know, it's like just you have to get beaten up.
Well, you're Deco. Yeah. You got to restrain yourself.
Constantly just having to use
20%.
one little finger on, you know, everyone. PB's finger story coming up. All right. Are we going to let Wack talk or?
Yes. I'm sorry,
Did you want to have another piece of candy?
No, I ate it all.
Oh, you really are channeling
What about your emergent?
Yep.
See, now PB
that was the
strikes
best
me as
roast of all time. I said, you're really channeling Orcish tonight because he eats candy and interrupts people. Fuck.
Yeah.
God.
It was perfect. It's
So the answer was, we're not going to let Wack talk.
In the back of my head, I was like, this is going to be so, he's going to go crazy. All right, go on then.
No. In terms of common themes and psychologies, I think for me, I think that creativity is a common theme for me in terms of what creativity is and how it exists and where it comes from. I've explored that in a few shows now, and like where does creativity come from, and how does it exist, and how do we know what to do, what we do to be creative? Like how does our brain get to a place where we can create something? It's a lot of shows are an exploration on that. I think a lot of shows are an exploration in what can we do? What are our limits?
Yes. Autonomy too, right? Is a big one for you. Yep. In almost everything you run, there's a undercurrent of autonomy.
Yep. I think those are the big ones for me. I also like to play around with like corruption and like in different ways, like how power corrupts, or how do things become corrupted? Like what is the source of that, and exploring that, I think is a common thing that I do. A lot of it's unintentional too. I'll end up there. Like I'll come up with the idea for a show or whatever, and then I'll just start linking them together, and I'm like, ah, shit.
That's a great place to be though. Sometimes when you're like, oh, this fits in, this works, this makes sense. This has come together. Stuff comes together, and you're like, I look like a fucking genius, but actually, I didn't write any of this down at the beginning. But somehow this has all worked out really, really well for me.
But actually, I didn't write anything
really good.
down.
Like subconscious writing. You're
I think that's happening a lot.
Right?
I think that's happening on every level of this, like with characters too, players playing characters.
Of course, because it's improv. You don't have a script, right? So you have to pull from somewhere, and it's usually yourself, either your own experience or the stuff that
she doesn't, because she's handing them out. But in in other shows,
read your line, Brad. That wasn't your line.
Pumpkinberry.merch.tv.
Thank you. It's merch.pumpkinberry.tv, but close enough.
No, you didn't even let me buy my own mug.
Yep, I know.
The legitimate ad I
also,
had to
Whack,
do.
you didn't answer me, so if you don't answer me, I'm just sending you something.
Okay, whatever.
Okay, thank you.
It's ad space, Whack. It's a sponsor.
Look, I'm just proud of my designs, okay? I'm normally really bad at them.
Yeah, we can tell.
Thank you. I know.
We know.
I know.
Carry on speaking about the thing you were saying.
I forgot what I was saying.
All right.
About your psychological themes, Brad. We haven't talked about
Brad.
My favorite psychological ideas to explore in games. I don't know if I have a favorite, but I think that I have a lot of themes that always come up for me. It's usually like some sort of like eat the rich, anarchy.
Yeah, eat the rich or authority, right?
Fucking authority problems and stuff.
Yeah. Fuck you, God.
Fuck you, God is another one. Give him a kiss. Say sorry. Give him a kiss on them big lips. His perfect Jesus lips.
I just went into PB's brain for a second. It's a dangerous place.
And the thing is, I like to as of Darkfire on, I have tried to write in a psychological theme or an overall theme for everything that I've run since Darkfire and up to and including Cura, but not the next thing I'm doing. Though there are some backup themes that I've prepared.
Can I just run something that is fucking normal? Is that even possible?
No, because
I've got to make it weird.
I'm doing it, and I'm doing it next, and you don't get to steal it before me.
Okay. Well, my show starts next week, so
you fucking. You better not take anything from me for that. I swear to God.
How about I just take the world? Sorry.
I gotta just like piggyback on this comment because can I run anything normal? You can't, because you don't want it to be normal. It doesn't interest you.
You're right.
Yeah.
There's a reason that you do it, and it's because that's the stuff that you want to participate in.
Guess what I'm doing on Sunday? I'm running a shopping episode. My favorite. but I'm doing it.
yeah. Asterisk though.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a shopping episode, you know,
It's not a
like
shopping episode.
there's gonna be some other fucking shit going on. Yeah.
Demonic shopping.
Something else is gonna happen. It was all a
Mhm.
fucking woozy dream.
Yep.
When they shop,
it
they're
was,
actually removing their life force.
Yeah. They're
Yeah.
gonna be
Well, I
fucking-
mean,
they're up to-
okay. To be fair,
Everything comes at a
it's an
cost,
equal trade
motherfucker.
episode.
Yeah, they're buying stuff, but you don't just get to buy things.
Oh,
yeah,
fuck.
you ain't
they're
buying
going to
them.
Macy's.
You're going to Macy's.
Mm-hmm. Is Macy's
Everybody get a
heaven?
dress shirt.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I
Oh yeah. Sorry. Anyway.
think that's it. I think.
Yeah, we've run out
Oh,
of things
okay.
to talk.
I
We
think
need
that
more.
was it.
We need more money.
I just make up a new theme for everything, and I try and make it
I
different.
want that to be my next show name. We need more money.
We need more money. Write it down, Wack.
Well, okay. Write it down,
Write
Wack.
it down.
Because after "Don't Die," you could run. We need more money.
Yeah,
That's
you
so
need
good.
to come up with something anyway.
Yeah. Dragon Riders. Can we just make our own? Wait, no. Hear me out. Can we make our own setting system that is Dragon Riders? You know, we don't have a lot of work to do this year, right? Listen, I just, dragons are cool. That's all. That was the end of that thought. Mm-hmm.
Okay, buddy. All right.
Fuck, you got okay, buddies.
I got okay, buddy. All right.
Oh, shit. He's
Okay.
fuming.
Hates me.
Absolutely beyond furious with you.
Listen, all I'm saying is, does the system even exist? Do they have a how to train your dragons system?
Why aren't there dragons in Mirth? There are now. I'll do it. I'll make it.
Were there
I'll
not
make it.
before?
No, I hadn't thought about it. I mean, there are. Hold on. Hold up. Because there are dragons. But they're on the other side. They're within in Kingmakers. Remember? There was like a whole dragon bone thing under the ground. Wait, we did that, right? Did you guys do that? Or was that just a thing you
Yeah,
never
definitely.
encountered?
Yeah, we definitely did.
You're making shit up right now just to shut me up.
No, I remember it. There were a bunch of tunnels, and you
Really?
found out that they were the dragon bones, and that the dragon bones
cool.
made the tunnels.
Okay, awesome. Then yes, there were dragons. But who knows where they are now? They're on the other side of the world
Yeah.
with Mirth.
I don't even
Yes.
think I was in those episodes, but I remember it.
Well, I think you did some narration for me. Like I sent you stuff to read. Like I know you
Oh,
did.
maybe that's why I remember it so
Hog's
clearly.
Hollow. Yeah. I
'cause
know you did that one. Mm-hmm.
You gave me a script.
I gave you a script. I was like,
Literally
read
scripted.
this and send it to me now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's always fun when you give people a script to record.
That's weird
for
that
these
you
things.
remember that, KJ, because you're absolutely right. And holy shit, that's crazy to me. The stuff you guys remember, and it'll leave my brain. That was when I was dying of pneumonia, before I knew I had pneumonia, I think, and I ran an episode in prison. I can't
That
believe
was
they
why?
remember that. I think so.
I wonder.
Oh yeah, you were sick
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah, I was really sick. And it was perfect because I was like, I don't have to.
Isn't it
I don't have
fun
to do makeup. I can just
when-
show up with pneumonia. And
when
people will be like, what the
someone
fuck happened to her? I've been in prison for 10 years.
Isn't it fun when someone from the chat room remembers your life better than you?
Yes. Oh. I'm like, oh.
And you're like, this isn't
They
like.
do it all the time. They're like, hey, Peeps, that's not, you got hit by a car 6 years ago, bro. Or like when I'm like, oh, guys, I don't need to eat. I ate like an hour ago. And they're like, that was 6 hours ago,
Yeah, that was
Pumpkinberry.
yesterday.
Okay.
Why do
You're
you think
thinking of
whenever I go
yesterday.
into your channel, I ask
Has
the chat,
she eaten?
did she
Yep.
eat
Yeah.
cheating?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She's eaten
right.
2 bags of Haribo.
Yeah, she's eaten. She's had plenty.
Just the one.
She's had
Do I want to
plenty
know
to
how much
eat.
sugar I just inhaled?
No.
Why
The
why
answer
don't
is
you guys
always
have
no.
like the why don't you guys have
Nutritional
the
facts?
nutritional facts on here? Is that not a thing you have to do? And
On what?
On the
on the
package
back.
of Haribo.
yeah, where's
No,
the,
because
like,
we can trust our government to just not try and kill us.
that was good.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there is
Oh,
there
it's
is
under
there is
energy.
nutrition or in yeah,
Energy.
it lists it there somewhere.
Uh-huh. Ooh.
How much energy have you
Okay.
got right now?
It says hold on. It says per 100 grams, there are 345 kcal, which I think is just calories, correct, fam?
Don't know. I don't have to count them.
It's 80 grams carbohydrates, 55 of which are sugar. Oh, God, I love that. Reference intake of an average adult is 2,000 calories a day. Oh, my God. A portion is Bro, they have this on the package. A portion is a tiny handful. In this case, 7 sweets.
How many have you eaten?
I ate the whole bag, bitch.
Oh, maybe there were only like 8 in there.
Well, it says the package contains approximately 7 portions.
Yeah.
So I ate
So there were
7
49
portions.
in there.
Oh.
Assume they've rounded to 50.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
EB's body is 50% sugar and 50% insulin right now.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
And that balance is precarious.
I had over my fucking daily calorie limit with fucking candy.
But how often do you do that?
Not at all. Not at all.
You're good.
Oh, shit. I enjoyed it.
That's the only thing that truly matters.
All right.
You
Well,
actually enjoy your food.
385 grams of sugar? No, I did not just have that. Is that what I just had?
well, it'll tell
Holy
you on there.
shit, bro. Well, no, it doesn't, because you can trust your government to not want to tell you how much is
No,
in
it
here.
tells you.
Do
It
know
tells
how
you
much
the
I
weight
was allowed
and you
to
work it out.
have. Do you know how much I was allowed to have when I was on keto?
How much? 0?
24.
24 grams of sugar?
24 grams of carbs.
Oh, of carbs.
Same thing, basically.
Uh-huh.
You said
I
there was
actually really like the way
300
this
in
is
that?
laid out. Yeah, it's 345 calories, but carbohydrates, of which are sugars, are 55 grams per serving size. So it's 55 times what? 7? It's a lot of sugar. It's an insane amount of sugar. I don't even have that much sugar. Oh, it does say 175 grams total.
Yeah, it gives you the total and you work out the rest for some reason. It's my worst nightmare.
Yeah, I was going to say I can't do that. So somebody else in Chad do it, okay? The package is 100 and I love that our podcast is so ridiculous. 175 grams, you guys. And that's total. And per 100 grams, it's 345. Okay, so that's not too bad. So it's not even my daily calorie intake limit. Am I an idiot? If the bag is 175 grams, if it's 75% of 100%, no, 175 grams is the bag, and it's per 100 grams, it's 345 cal. Then I had, what, 680 calories or something? Not even? Close? With these?
It's all right, buddy.
Everyone's laughing at
If
me.
someone
All right.
could
Okay,
tip
buddy.
some money, we can
Shut her up.
we can shut her up.
If someone tips
some
money,
of
we
the
can shut
some
her
of
up.
New
the
mechanic.
some of the messages we get, by
Uh-huh.
the way, I do read them when they come through, and one of them says, "For the secret hidden gummy."
Oh, the one I ate? What are we talking about?
You ate them all.
I did eat them all. I found one on the desk that had fallen out of the bag, and I ate it. The floor gummy. Why do you assume it was on the floor?
Because they know you.
It's because one time. No, hear me out. Hear me out. It's because one time I stayed up late playing Wild RP, okay?
Uh-huh.
And then I went to bed, and I woke up and I opened my door to find a burrito on the floor, okay? Someone had
What
ordered
was your
me
first
dinner.
impulse?
I fucking ate it. And you want to know why? Because I was vegan at the time and there was nothing that could go off in the fucking burrito. And it was cold out, so I ate it. And it was fucking delicious. And I was fine. Okay?
I don't think that's how food works. I don't think only meat can go bad.
Well,
Hmm?
technically,
If anything,
it doesn't have
fruit and
dairy in
veg
it.
goes bad way quicker. You
Yeah,
ever
but
buy a
it's-
banana? By the time you get home, that thing's rotten.
Yeah, but okay. No, that's not how that works.
That is
and
how
B,
that
it was
works, and
cooked.
you know it.
It's all cooked food. It's just like having leftovers, which you don't do. I forgot about that.
That's correct. It's disgusting. Below me.
Sugar can spoil as well. Yeah, I had a whole veggie burrito that was full of sugar. As if you assholes won't eat fucking... You guys would have done the same goddamn thing, okay? The only difference is that I tell you the truth when I do it. That's it. That's it.
So defensive.
So angry.
Over
God.
the fact that you came home and like a disgusting little goblin...
A gremlin
fucking
ate it.
gathered up a floor burrito that had been left outside
I just went like...
for an unknown amount of time.
Hold on. It wasn't outside in the cold. Like
sat
it was
there
in my apartment.
eating
it was in the
this
hallway.
thing in
Like
the
this.
hallway. You didn't. You just opened it and then just started eating it with your mouth.
Yep,
No
it
hands.
was in
On a
the-
perch.
I opened the door. It was on the floor in the hallway, and I went, oh! And then I picked it up and I went, breakfast.
That's so
I warmed
nasty,
it up
dude.
and I fucking ate it.
That is so nasty, and that's coming
the
from someone that ate a
equivalent-
waffle from the bin.
It's the equivalent
What?
of
You ate a
going to
waffle?
a hotel and you
Mhm.
see like the cart outside somebody's room and there's food on it.
No, it's not the
Yeah,
equivalent. It would be.
it looks
It
You
would
help
be the
yourself?
equivalent.
It
It would be
looks
the equivalent
fresh.
of you opening it and going, "Oh, I forgot. I ordered room service last night, and here it is for me." You know, it's not like I grabbed the neighbor's burrito and was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna eat this." Come on.
Would you though?
No,
if there was
I'm
a-
not gonna
if
eat.
there was
I'm
a-
not gonna eat somebody else's order of food. Are you kidding me? I've had pizza delivered to me by mistake, and I'm like, no, I won't. No, that's not for me. That's someone else's. Someone else was crying about their pizza not being delivered. Whack. When the guy asked me, "Are you having a party?" I went, "No, it's just me. I'm not gonna eat my neighbor's food, okay? I can't even lie to save my own skin there. No." Oh God! Please, somebody give us
always
money
get-
so we can.
I always get when I go to the store. I always fit everything inside of the little hand cart, right? You have the hand carts in the UK, Brad? So like the ones that you
He's
you carry.
judging me right now.
What do you mean by hand cart?
So we have regular like shopping carts
Yeah.
that roll, and then we have like little baskets.
Yeah, a basket. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I'll have I when I go to the store, I'm just one person. And I go for a week, and I'll have 1 week's worth of groceries in one basket.
Yeah.
That is how I determine how much food I should have in a week. It's in that basket. It fits in the basket.
Mhm.
So I'll load that fucker up and go to the line, and it's like I gotta say 90% of the time when I go to the checkout at the grocery store, they're always like, "Wow, do you need a cart?" No, dude, I'm good. I carried it here.
You're that
I
fucking
think I got
old.
it.
You're that old school meme. Challenge accepted, right? With a million bags on your hand. Yeah, I do
Yes.
that too.
Absolutely.
I gotta make sure
100%.
shit fits in a backpack though, because I'll like walk to and from the grocery store. So I have to be careful because sometimes there have been times where I'm like I've put too much in the little hand cart, and then I'm like I can't carry all of this.
Hand
Holy crap.
cart. Is that really
I don't
what you
call it that.
Up
I
floor.
call it a
No,
basket.
it's a basket.
Up
Yeah,
floor.
I've only ever called it a basket,
It's
but
up floor.
up floor.
The worst situation you can run into with that is those weeks when you need to buy like really annoying extra things like toilet roll,
tampons.
tampons, bleach,
Yep.
something annoying like
fucking-
that.
Listen, I'm older now.
Paper
I
towels.
order that shit to the door. The
Yeah,
fucking,
then you leave
all
it
the
there for 3
feminine
weeks.
products. Yep, all the feminine products, they just come right to my fucking door. I don't bother with that shit anymore. I'm not. It's just getting right there. Thank you. Perfect.
Same.
I don't want to have to fucking worry about it.
Same.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I order random
litter,
shit like that
yeah,
to the door as well. Yeah.
Yeah. There's
Sometimes
just some stuff
I
don't
I
care.
got pissed off buying bleach
Oh shit.
and
that's
just
right, I
bought
forgot.
a multi-pack of it that will probably last me a year.
You bought a multi-pack of bleach?
Yep, and just I put it in a
And
cupboard.
you didn't have the feds show up on your doorstep? Like, what are you doing with this much bleach?
I think if they did a background check on my medical history, I think I'd be fine. They wouldn't be suspicious of anything.
Uh-huh. There wouldn't be doctors at your door.
Yeah. No, I don't know. Is that a thing? People, you can't buy.
Yeah.
It wouldn't let you, surely.
Dude, have I never told you the story? Have I never told you the story about how I got held up at Walmart because of what I asked for?
Guys, if we hit the top donation goal today, we get the PB made a fucking bomb once by accident story. No, go right ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, so first of all, Christmas is a traumatizing time, okay? And I may have left my Christmas tree up for a very long time. Like, it may have been summer.
You have a Christmas tree?
I did have a Christmas tree, yeah. I haven't done it the last couple of years.
I like how you phrased that, Brad, because you were checking to see if it was still up right now.
Yeah, is it still there?
No, I haven't done it in the last couple of years. But
did you take it down 2 years ago?
Yes.
Or is it still
in
there?
fact, I haven't done it since this horrific incident happened. No, I don't actually know. Anyway, I went into Walmart and I didn't want to admit that I had my Christmas tree still up and that's what I needed to do. So I was like, do you guys have like really large bags, you know, like
Fucking hell.
like 7 feet, you know, or like a big tub or something, like a big box or something, like 7 feet.
Did you
tall.
ask for some lime as well?
No, but I did, like, you know, I was asking for, and they were like, and you want it 7 feet and a half.
Oh my God.
And they were like, well, okay. And like, you know, how wide do you want it to be? And I was like, you know, like 2 bodies.
2 bodies.
2 bodies wide? Because I
2 body. Just say a tree.
I didn't want to admit that I
More
still had my-
embarrassed about the tree than the potential burying of a body or 2 bodies.
because my brain did not compute that they would assume that I actually would be as dumb to. I'm not that guy that like fucking Googled how to kill and bury his wife, and then,
I think you are. I think that's exactly what the story is that you're explaining right now.
Oh! Anyway, they had a manager come over and talk to me and be like, "What's going on? You know, like we just have certain things that we got to double check on." And I was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." And I said, "My Christmas tree's still up." And the woman looked at me like, "Girl, I got you. I understand." And was like, "We have bags."
Wow.
We have Christmas tree shame bags.
Let me give you a free drink and free bag of chips, in fact.
Yeah.
Fuck.
See, now I want to hang out with you just for the shopping adventure.
Yeah. I do have some pretty cool stories.
Yeah, I feel like just picking random places to go shopping with PB would be quite fun. As we have learned today.
Oh, God.
The next question has been unlocked.
Normal stores.
I'm trying to think if I have any more weird ones. I'm sure that I do. Mercs probably remembers some.
Be careful, you may get hit by a car, Whack. No, I would prevent PB from getting hit by a car.
Bitch,
I think we have.
I didn't have my phone out. I looked. Bitch made eye contact with me and slowed down. And so then I was like, cool, I can cross the street with my fucking drink and my bag of food. And she hit me anyway.
I don't think anyone believes you.
Okay.
Next question. Submitted by Murgles. As we desperately pivot away from PB's inevitable mental break.
I saw the look in your eyes and thought, I can release her.
I got you, girl. Don't worry. We got bags.
Yeah. It was the bag lady. Was it the bag lady? Was it the same person?
Oh, fuck, dude.
It was a girls get it done moment. She was saving you.
Yeah.
All right. Murgles says.
Sweetie, you're in shock. Sorry. That's what she said to me.
Murgles says in this next question, was there a particular skill you didn't realize you had until you discovered it through GMing? Like when you started, was there a part that surprised you that you picked up quickest? Now this one is going to be very hard for me and PB to answer because neither of us believe we have any skills.
Yeah.
We believe ourselves to be the two worst people on the planet in every way and have no skill and are charlatans. However,
Yep.
Whack Stephen, with an ego as large as PB's hand basket filled with varying junk food candies, he is going to answer for all three of us.
Oh God, I don't know, dude. I will. Okay. I will force these thoughts about both of your skills upon you, and then you must defend them.
Ew, I feel sick.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you do.
Even better. Even better.
Mhm.
Okay. Let's see. For Brad, I feel like Chen Shinhan.
Yep.
Flair.
My favorite character, by the way.
Is he really?
He's up there. I really enjoyed him until he just became useless and wasn't in it ever again.
He's a tryhard.
Yeah, I just
You know.
thought it was. I like the ones that aren't just Goku. For some reason, normally in any other show, I'm like a Superman fan.
That's like your favorite. Yeah, that's your favorite.
But for some
You're a
reason,
Yamcha fanboy.
in Dragon Ball, and I was Dragon Ball Yamcha is sick as fuck. Wolfang Fist. But yeah, I mean, I don't know why I enjoyed the whole Tien Chiaotzu arc in the beginning of Dragon Ball Z. Anyway,
I would say, in terms of skills that Brad has shown since he's been GMing, this is fucking tough, man.
it's tough because
would
Whack has
say-
only known us since we've been GMing.
Yeah.
But I guess
Yeah. Well, no, I've
You've
known
seen us.
Brad a little bit longer.
yeah, that's true.
I would say that I think Brad has showcased he's taken advantage of skills that he's had. I mean, his editing skills have,
yeah.
really been at the forefront of a lot of the things that he's done with GMing and creating, teasers and trailers and stuff. But I would think it would probably be your lore writing ability. I feel like has gotten just incredible over the years. You're so good at writing the lore stuff. That's been a very noticeable thing for me. I the editing is the obvious thing, but you've been doing that for a long time.
Yeah,
so
well
I don't
before
think that
GMing.
I don't really think that counts. But I think the lore stuff has gone up tremendously because I feel like you were scared of it at first. We talked a little bit about it last week, where you were scared to develop your characters and things like that. But I think you were a little scared initially with your lore and stuff and your creative writing. And I don't know at what point it was. Maybe when you started Lacrin, where you started to really get into it. And I feel like your lore skills went up a lot.
That was gun to the back of my head, to be honest, because I didn't have to, but I did 3 shows in the same setting that all needed to tie into one another. And it was when I had to come back around and tie off an entire setting. And I was like,
plot holes.
yeah. And I had to sit there and write it so that it made sense. And then once you learn how to write a full circle, you're like, oh, this is a story. This is how this works. This is how it's supposed to be.
The teacher that can draw the perfect circle.
That teacher that does that perfect
Yep.
circle. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I still think I'm a complete charlatan who doesn't know how to do any of it, but
You are.
I'm glad
thank you.
that I am forcing this upon both of you.
Mhm.
Yeah. What? Oh, sorry, PB. How much work did you put into writing your next setting that you're going to be running Don't Die in? Again? How many hours was it? 0.
Big fat
You
0.
fucking.
That's not true anymore, is it?
It's not. It wasn't true in the first place.
It wasn't true.
And then as far as PB goes, I'm gonna
Oh,
say
God.
PB
God.
developed. I think to me, your trailers have always been standout. Like your intros and your
Aw.
trailers are so good.
Thank you. Oh my God.
Those
Ugh. Ooh.
those
I feel sick.
those I mean, it hurt. It physically pains me that you're making better things. Like when you dropped the Blade Runner thing, it was so.
Bro, I peaked with Blade Runner. Listen to me. When because I was hand animating the like fire and tracking and all that shit, and then when I watched it, I was like, I did it. Like, you could just never do an entire episode of this show. I've done it. It's good. We're done. Like, that's
It's
it.
annoying
I'm
when you
outta
make
here.
a trailer that can't possibly be as good as the show, and you're like, oops.
Yeah. Except that the show was incredible. Like,
It was.
I'm
I
really,
think-
really proud of Blade Runner.
Yeah, I think it could have been better. There
Yeah.
was some very low points. Orcish.
Yep. Why do you think I didn't have him come back? No, he'll believe that. That was a joke. That was a joke. That was a joke. As soon as I said it, I was like, oh no, he'll believe that.
Speaking of
that's
coming
true.
back, he just left his body, so we'll
Oh, no.
we'll touch base
As
with
soon as I
Orcish
said
next
it.
week and see if he.
It's just me. It's
he's
the
immediately
fucking
crapped
chips
his
are just for me. I can't do it.
Yeah, but I think
Anyway.
that was a
amazing.
big. That was a big.
Phoebe is amazing at the
change.
the hook, like the sell of something. Like you're like so good at intrigue, and it doesn't it not just the mystery thing, the way that you story tell, but just you're like, what the fuck is that? What the fuck is going on? And it isn't like it isn't in a way that when you're watching like some shows and their whole thing is that. And you'll get to like season 3 and you're like, oh, just fucking tell me what it's about now.
Yeah.
I'm
yeah,
just getting
yeah.
pissed off with the fucking questions. That never happens. Like, I think that is I don't know if the question was like, what are some skills that you didn't have or whatever?
Yeah.
I would say this is a skill that you have honed. I don't know if it's one that you discovered through GMing, but I think it's one that, because I have no idea if you knew you were capable of this before, if you'd ever tried it. Or if you've done anything like this before, but
Yes, you do. I don't know I'm capable of anything until I'm doing it.
yeah, but
yeah.
okay. So you're admitting that you're amazing at this?
No. I'm just saying I didn't think I was capable of doing a thing at all.
Okay, well,
Not that it's good.
you just agreed that it was.
Nice try.
and,
Nice try to trap me.
Yeah,
I have an answer for this, by the way.
Well, I think you are very good at I mean, we sort of covered this before. I think in that the skill that you've honed of like of intrigue and of making of mystery box storytelling and pacing it perfectly in such a way that you're just like every time you get an answer there are 2 more questions, but it isn't sickening,
Yeah.
it isn't like fuck, because that can be very annoying, and that's
Yeah.
I think that's really hard to do, by the way. I think that's really fucking hard. That is a hard line to walk. And I've noticed in all of your because you could easily, I think, if we laid out every question and every answer in your shows in some way, we just like laid them out in terms of like how many there were per episode, fucking per capita of show,
Yeah.
there would be an astonishing amount.
Yeah.
Because you'll just be there and it won't necessarily be like you pose a question. You'll just do something where you'll be like, yeah, a guy walks past in a fucking pea coat.
Yeah.
Jacket, whatever it was.
And people are like, wait, what?
And you're like, wait. Like that moment of like, wait a second. Is that linked to that? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But it is intrigue, and you pepper that in such a way. It's really it's a crazy skill that I know for a fact if I tried to do it, I wouldn't be able to mimic for a long form show.
I don't think that's true.
I could mimic it for 1 episode of something. And that caused me to have almost a full-blown aneurysm, and I was trying my absolute hardest. And I was like, dude, I could never do this for a whole show and I don't think I could keep people interested.
I don't think that's true. But my answer is time travel. I did not know that I could do time travel.
That's
until
true.
It happened.
I think all of us kind of were afraid of time travel. I remember us talking about how hard that is to do. And now I'm not afraid of it at all.
I'm not afraid at all.
How crazy is
I could
that? Do
definitely
you remember
it,
having
no problem.
conversations like time travel is impossible because it's a completely forward-moving show of improv with people that are making their own decisions. You can't control the narrative because you can't write the ending in the middle.
Yeah,
and you can't
need control to be able to do it, and you don't. And
You
I
don't.
remember thinking like, whoa, I'll never be able to do time travel again after Nocturne. And I just continued existing my life. And then I rewatched Tidal Blades to prepare for Tidal Blades 2. And I was like, motherfucking bitch did time travel again. Like, I opened the show with time travel.
Don't you
and I was
remember
like,
when
what?
you first were like talking about and pitching the idea of Tidal Blades? Because we were talking about it in a, like, I don't know, just like a sponsor capacity.
Yeah,
I think.
because I before Tidal Blades, I had an idea of a thing I wanted to run, which has been, this should have been my answer for Murgles' question. I have gutted parts of that and moved it aside for the one day when I run the thing.
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah.
So a fun fact and a fun little thing of exactly what you just said that I do. So in Gone, there's an episode where Dex and crew play D&D, but they play a game called Ceasefire. That's the game I was going to run after Gone, but I didn't have my system ready in time. And then I saw the system of Tidal Blades and I went, oh my God, this is like colorful. Like if you go and look at the overlay of them, that's what I was going to do for Tidal Blades, or, you know, what Ceasefire, which was going to be my Tidal Blades. And then I saw the book of Tidal Blades and I went, you know what? I can just take this core idea that I had for Ceasefire and put it over here and take the rest of that and put it over there. And I'll run that another time and I'll put this in their world. And that was Tidal Blades. So yeah.
I remember. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's crazy. I remember being petrified of time travel as well. And
I still
there's,
am.
yeah, I know but you, I don't think are as much of a fan of it as me and PB are, just in general. Whereas me and PB love those kinds of stories. It's the feeling of, I don't think this necessarily is just about time travel. I just think it's an exceptional version of it. But the feeling of tying up a loose end or a potential plot hole, and being like, okay, there's this. I think it happened in Deathless this week, where they found an item that someone had left. I don't know if it was in one of the audio episodes or I just didn't really pick it up or what, but there was something where you were like, oh, this is how that person dropped that here or something like that.
So it wasn't an audio episode. So the craziest thing happened. I have a table of like 150 things, and randomly as a joke for 69 I went, oh, it'll be something related to Trick from Nocturne, because
that's right. That's what
Ishna
it was.
is in both Nocturne and Deathless, and I was like, I'll just do that. And then they did it at a perfect time in which I was like, it only makes sense that it's Trick's fucking phone.
Past each other.
Yeah. And then I was like, oh my God, Trick's phone goes missing for a number of time in the middle of Nocturne. This is where it went. That's it. Yeah.
That feeling is a great feeling when you have a little, and I think your shows probably have this more than any other show. I know that mine do it when I try and do a bit more mystery box storytelling as well. Whack, I think, probably goes into every show with just everything bulletproof before he even opens his mouth. Yeah. But there is no better feeling than being like, that's what happened there. That's how that tied into this. This is how this makes sense for this thing. But time travel, when you can tie up a time travel plot hole in a fucking completely free form, flowing, bullshit, dice rolling, you don't know what your players are going to go left or right story, it feels so good as a GM. I think it is one of the best feelings to tie up plot holes and time travel. What are they called in time travel? Paradoxes. That kind of feeling is, for me anyway. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe that's my OCD, being like everything has to be absolutely fucking in order, or everyone dies. But I really love that feeling. I don't know if this doesn't really relate to the skill necessarily, because I imagine it doesn't always happen. But I just remember
it's just the idea of like, I didn't realize that was something, because I think what it takes is an ability to, because I always assume that I've got huge, and I do have huge memory issues, generally speaking.
It's the worst.
But for some reason, when I'm GMing and we do this thing and they roll a 69 and I go, oh, you've got, my brain gives me Trick's phone. And then 2 seconds later, my brain cues Trick's phone went missing if you don't remember that. Where did that come from? Like, there's no way I would remember that any other time than when I'm GMing. But for some reason, that's a skill that my brain will just go, here's the answer. And then I just take it and I trust that it's correct. And then I walk away and I go, oh my God, like, how did I remember that? How did that happen?
Maybe that's why all of your campaigns are trauma. And that's the only way you can remember things. That's the only way you can remember stuff.
God, you can't even escape it either. Even like you're like, I'm gonna do this feel good tidal blaze, and it was just like,
bro, do you know I didn't end that? I'm so sorry. I did not. That did not have a happy ending. I watched all of season 1 and went, how? I had the audacity to end it that way.
Yeah,
like,
it was
it's not
fucked.
happy at all. There's no closure. It's not happy. Fuck. But at least
you were happy
you know,
because you'd brought it back to trauma. And you know why?
No, I think,
You know why?
it was also not up to me. You know, it's where the story went.
I think it's because
God.
it's underneath everything. You're sitting there like, yeah, this is how real stories end.
No.
It wasn't kind of a happy ending.
No.
Everything gets ruined.
Well, we did it.
Everyone
we did
should
a
be
happy ending in
traumatized
Tidal
by the
Blades
end
too.
of it.
I think it's just the
They
way that
did.
it went. But I really did want to run, and I will do this at some point. Should I say it? I don't care. I'm going to say it. I want to run the Chipmunk's Great Adventure. Did you guys
don't
watch
know
that?
What the fuck you're talking? Are you talking about Alvin, Simon, and Theodore?
Jesus Christ!
Oh my God! No more fucking Haribo for you,
I'll just-
dude. I swear
Don't
to
put me in that
God,
one,
dude.
please. I'm
No.
good.
We'll
What
edit
I
that
mean
out.
is- no,
Guys,
no.
we'll be right back. This is an ad for Don't Die. It'll be starting next week if you... Fucking hell. What are you talking
Wait,
about?
hear me out.
You want to
What
run
I mean
the
is-
Chipmunk's Great Adventure, dude?
What I mean is,
Fuck my life.
it's a race around the world. That's all. That's what I mean.
You want to do a race around the world?
Style game, yeah.
Okay.
That's what that movie was. You had two groups, you know, the Chipettes and the Chipmunks, and they fucking raced to each point, and then at the end they had to, you know. But I have said to
turn
myself,
that shit into Happy Little Toaster by episode 5.
Yeah.
it's Brave Little Toaster, bitch. And
Brave
second of
Little
all,
Toaster, yeah.
I cannot be trusted to run Brave Little Toaster because that shit is traumatizing.
It's why the
watched-
way you...
Dude.
It's the reason you are the way you are. Right?
I know, and I didn't know it until I fucking made us rewatch parts of it live on my stream, and I had a moment, Wax Steven, where I was looking at it and I went, oh, this is exactly why I am the way that I am. Oh no! But have you seen any of that film, Brad?
Brave Little Toaster?
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
it's a very American thing. I don't think we really got it over here.
Is it Don Bluth? PB, is it Don
But-
Bluth?
I can't remember.
From what I
don't
understand,
know.
it's basically along the lines of fucking Iron Giant and
I've never seen Iron Giant, but
And,
I assume
All
that
Dogs
it's
Go to Heaven.
similar. Yes, it might have been Don Bluth. It's not Don
No,
Bluth.
it's not
Okay,
Don
but you
Bluth.
know what was Don Bluth that I really liked? I think was the Twice Upon a Time. Nobody's ever fucking seen that movie. It's just
No
so
idea what
good.
that
It's
is.
really, really good. It's so good.
Secret
Anyway,
of Nim, American Tale, All Dogs Go to Heaven, which was hyper trauma for me.
Oh, All Dogs Go to
Yeah.
Heaven.
Before
I honestly
Time.
think I could have. I wouldn't even be. I wouldn't have trauma if I hadn't watched that
So
movie.
to me, that one was sad, but Brave
That was
Little
the
Toaster
that was the
worse
straw that
for
broke the
me.
camel's back for me. I
Yeah.
don't think I came back from that. Oh, we
Yeah.
had the Animals of Farthingwood. That is very true.
Okay.
Even the words on the screen sent a fucking
Fucking chill.
trauma
I can hear
shiver
it in your
through
voice.
me.
No, okay,
Oh,
but
God.
hear me out. Hear
I
me
think
out.
we just found
In-
out the settings that we don't want
Oh.
to run.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe this is why I
That's the
don't.
answer to Murko's
Do you know
Before times.
Animals of Farthingwood could be why I don't do
Don't do anthropomorphic animals.
the animal thing. Yeah.
You know, there was a movie, I can't remember what it's called, but there was a movie that traumatized me that was about like a forest getting poisoned or something, and then there's like some sort of
The
mouse
Fairy?
that is dying. I don't know, but there's like
what
a
was that
mouse
one
who's
called?
dying because
Secret of
the
I don't remember
no.
what happened.
It's
in
not
that.
the Secret of Nim. It's a different one.
What's the one
it's not Fern
about?
Gully.
Oh, Fern Gully is where I was going.
Fern
with it.
Gully is the one that you were thinking of. It's not Fern Gully, guys. It's like It's a bunch of anthropomorphic animals. I just watched it. I know. And they have like this ship that they build, right? And they fly in it. It's not Watership Down. I don't know. Anyway, Brad, there is a song in Brave Little Toaster called Worthless. I am going to send you the clip, bro. It's a bunch of cars in a junkyard that are old, and the lyrics of the song are like, I'm just tired. I can't keep running. I can't keep running. And I like, for fuck's sake, man. I put that up on stream to be like, hey guys, this is a fucked up movie. And then I watched it and I went, oh, oh no. Oh God. Okay, I'm ending stream now. Bye. Like, fuck.
Ooh, yeah, I can't do those.
I just can't keep running.
Cartoons are the reason why millennials are the way that we are.
Yeah, they were so messed up, those
Yeah.
movies. Like, we're nothing like that.
The Pebble and the
storytellers,
Penguin,
though.
Ship Misery or whatever that song is, lives rent free in my brain as well. Good ship
We have
misery.
like plot armor
yeah.
over pets and stuff.
Yeah.
Like we
because
don't do
fucking
none of
that.
that. You watch a Gen X person or a boomer run a D&D game. They love slaughtering the group pet. They love it, dude. Cackling,
no.
laughing,
Oh, I can't.
having a
What's
great
wrong with
time.
you? That's awful.
You know, the old GM versus players mentality that existed just before our generation of DMs.
Yeah. Where it's like GM versus the player.
The GM loves to kill a player character. Whack has one.
Whack is borderline.
Yeah, he's got a toe in.
He has it in him. He can pull it out.
He's got a couple of years on us. He's got a touch of that. You know, he avoided it, but it got him a little. He was touched by it. He's got a little drop of the old GM versus players. I'm gonna kill your animals.
Oh, he would never kill a pet. Yeah.
No.
He would never kill.
He
a
does
pet,
have a little touch
which
of
is
that
why
GM
you
versus
need to
player.
run me in Dragonlance that isn't Dragonlance.
I knew it was a slow meandering circle back around.
It was always coming.
She's not gonna let this go.
I'll be honest with
I'm
you.
not gonna let
How
it
about
go.
this though? Here's what I do like the idea of. Wax. It doesn't have to be whack. I don't know why I'm fucking saying you have to do this. PB's got me fucking rallying. A dragon race around the world. Yeah. That is.
Okay.
That's the.
Okay.
That's the show.
I accept. Okay, wait. Can I propose something else?
No, I'm not running it.
No, I wasn't gonna. Maybe I won't say this part live. Never mind.
Okay.
I do have an idea and it's pretty good. I accept your offer,
Dragon
but I
fuckers.
also.
I've got
Double D dragons.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm a little bit concerned that you associated dinosaurs with dragons, and that's where the idea for all this shit really came from that fucking Steam game. She's written something down.
Yeah, you picked up on
Then
it.
Yes.
Good. Okay,
Yes.
yeah. This is exactly what I was floating to
I
you.
accept your offer.
Because this last line I wrote to you is the
Sorry.
thing that I was getting stuck on with it.
Yeah.
And that solves it.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I think. Done. Whack has no idea what we're talking about.
I'm all right with that.
We'll never tell you.
Cool.
All right, guys. If you are interested in whatever just got PB very excited, it's man. You know what? Oh, you know the only problem, PB.
What? Are we just gonna sit here and talk about it in front of everyone?
You know what I've just thought about? That is
What?
the main problem with that we probably
What?
won't be able to do it.
Why?
Oh, we haven't got the budget.
Oh, stop it.
Oh, if only we had enough money to be able to. Guys, if only we had enough money to do Around the World in 80 Dragons.
If only we had enough.
How to around the world your dragon.
If only we had enough money to run How to Around the
Double D
World with your
Dragons.
dragon, Double D Dragons returns, Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Can somebody do me a favor and clip their reaction to me saying I wanted to run the Chipmunks Great Adventure? Because that's That will live forever in my heart.
Too late. It's too late.
Yep.
It happened too
That's
long
good.
ago. They can't clip it now.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Yes, they can. They can go back and clip it.
They can't. The VOD has been deleted already by Twitch.
Oh, Jesus.
This message will self-destruct.
That is actually a very good point. Those of you who did not know, there has been a change on Twitch. So if you are set on watching the chat reaction to things, you gotta watch the show within, 60 days of the episode airing to watch the chat reaction. Otherwise, everything will be over on YouTube or podcast format. So, yeah. Not to make it serious. Please give us money so I can run dragons around the world.
Quite literally, this message will self-destruct after
It's true.
10 seconds. What is it? I should know. I'm in those
What?
movies.
Which movies? What is happening? Oh, yes.
Mission
Oh, my
Impossible.
God. I missed the joke. I'm sorry. I was too busy thinking about
You
dragons.
made the joke.
I know.
It was a
I was too busy
callback.
thinking about dragons. I know. Those are my favorite, too.
Dragons?
Double
No,
D Dragon.
callbacks.
Double D Dragons. Have I got a website for you?
I got a Steam
Oh,
game
fuck.
for you.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, we're actually close to the next stop. Good God. You stolen my joke.
It's gone full orcish.
No,
Yeah.
I
mean, she really is orcish tonight, eating nothing but pure sugar, interrupting, and sneezing with an echo on
I didn't mean to do that, actually.
for
I
attention.
hit the FX button. I hate sneezing into the microphone. I've never done that before in my life on Twitch. Have I ever sneezed when you could hear it on purpose?
You have
Not
now.
on purpose. I have now. Well, not really. I didn't do that on purpose, but oh well.
Did Whack
I
answer
tried.
the last question? No, he
I
didn't.
answered for
You
I
answered
answered
for us,
Brad
yeah,
and
and you
Peter.
didn't
Yeah,
answer
yeah.
your own.
Now they
skill.
have to answer for me.
Oh, I will say this much. And I don't. This is going to sound. It might sound bad at first, but just bear with me.
Just hear me
I
out.
went back and watched a lot of shows from years and years and years ago for
Mhm.
non-canon, and watched a lot of Wax GMing. He is the same person. He has remained stable. He's putting out the same level of quality of GMing as he was 5, 6, 7 years ago. I was going back and watching these shows, and you would not be able to tell that some of these shows were from like 2016, 2017 and stuff. You go back and look at mine and PB's shows, disaster. The fucking state of it.
Yeah.
Whack.
Like the opening of Nocturne. Hi guys. This
Oh,
is
my God.
Welcome to Nocturne. Welcome to Nocturne.
Whack is
And then
a...
gone. I'm like, cold open, bitch. I'm never doing that again.
Yeah, just the thing. Whack is a fucking professional at this shit. That's what Whack is. He's literally like, you know, when you like go and watch like a sporting event or something, and there's one guy in a suit who knows what the fuck he's talking about, and then they've just asked some other idiot to be there, like Post Malone's there, and you're like, I like Post Malone, he's fine, but he doesn't know shit about golf. Why is he on the mic?
Yeah.
Whack is the professional. He's there with the fucking suit. He knows what he's talking about. You are, Whack, absolutely fucking bulletproof. Like, from fucking day one all the way up to now. I think really this isn't a thing where I imagine this is a skill that you have discovered. I just think it is exactly where you fucking belong. Like, in that fucking chair running shows is exactly where you're in the exact right place.
That's what he discovered. He's born
Because
to GM.
you fucking go back and
Yep.
I swear to God, go back and watch any of these fucking older shows. It is bizarre. And when I was talking to Orcish, because he was watching some of the older shows and stuff, me and him came to the same conclusion. We were like, he's the same. It's time travel. This is why he doesn't like time travel. He doesn't want us to be on it. In terms of skills that I think you've gotten better at, I would say probably some of the things that you said me and PB were good at in terms of like editing and stuff. You've like, I don't think you were really that bothered about it before, maybe, or you're very good at like overlays and stuff, because I think that's
Yeah.
of graphic design.
Overlays was overlays was my I knew that before going in, but like videos and that kind
Video
of stuff
production and
that
things.
I all learned when I started jamming.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
you were really the inspiration for that, Brad. When I think it was a really basic comment that you meant. You said something along the lines of like, this is what you need for a show. You got to have like a break screen, a starting soon screen. I'm like, oh, what do you do for that? And he's like, well, this is what I do. And you link like Storm King's Thunder with just like the waves and stuff. And, you brought up the characters and I said, oh, okay. And then I started to do that, with Neon Scream, pretty much.
Yeah. I still remember the Identity Crisis stuff. It was so good. That was so good. The art, the overlays, the comic book style intro that you did, and even the like switching from to the BRB. I think you had a stinger there too, and I was like, ooh, that's a good idea.
I remember having tons of fun making the Identity Crisis stuff.
Yep.
Like
It was
all
really
of the
good.
videos and stuff. I had a lot of fun. I was really proud
You did the
of
art
it too.
for that too, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Character
I
art.
remember being like, oh my god, my girl.
And I was really proud of that when I did that. That was I showed my family and stuff. They had no idea what it was. Not a clue. Like, yeah, this is cool. Nice colors. What the fuck is it? What is he showing us?
I have a question. Did you come to the table with an innate understanding of player agency, or is that something that you learned? Because I learned a lot. Yeah, sorry. I learned a lot about player agency from your Identity Crisis.
I legitimately don't know. I guess.
Because I think
never
that's
really
something that
thought
you've
about it.
always done. And I remember that with Neon Scream as well. The parts that I watched, I remember thinking like, wow, he gives
That
a lot
might
of
have-
freedom to his players.
That might have been. So if I think about like my history of the games that I played, my first game was the Order of the Word, and then I did 2 D&D modules. I did Curse of Strahd and I did Tyranny of Dragons, and I ran. So I did an improv D&D show.
Okay.
Which was insane, and I will never do it again because that is by far the most taxed my brain has ever been.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was.
You're gonna try and list all the players now, and you can only remember 3 of them.
No, So the premise of the show was I set everything up based on the DM's guide, and I made macros in Roll20 to roll all of the rollable tables in DM's guide by pressing one button. Press one button, rolls all the tables for what's happening in the world.
And how did you do
generated.
No.
So I generated. I generated the adventure 15 minutes before we went live.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So we rolled to see what level the players were going to be and had 15 minutes to build their characters.
Oh wow.
And then we were like, okay, it could be anywhere from level 1 to 10.
Oh my
Let's
god.
Push the button.
5.
Here we go. And you have to figure that shit out. And we'd be doing
Holy
intros and
shit.
stuff, and the players would be scrambling to figure out their character sheets. And
Holy shit.
So then they
that would be a great reverse green room thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
But like if
And-
we did that now.
And then it was Roll for Adventure. That's what it was. I called
I
it.
remember this, by the way.
Yeah.
Very vaguely.
So yeah, and I had guests on.
yeah.
And I think that might have been that show that sort of gave me that headspace, because it was so insane and everything was improv. We made up these adventures on the spot. It was like, okay, what kind of government is here in this place or whatever, and it was all rollable tables from the DM's guide. I just pushed one button, blip, 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 and I would announce it to chat. And I think I can't remember if I announced it to the players at the same time, what I did there, but we all did that improv. The whole thing was improv. The adventure was going to be about this, and that was it.
That's insane.
Yeah.
It was crazy. That was the show that I killed Peachy, or Peachy would have died in the very first scene.
Oh, wow.
I was like, yeah, you're on a mountain pass, and there's this basically this little tiny path along the cliffside, and Peachy was playing a monk, and he's like, I'm gonna do a cartwheel, and he did a cartwheel and rolled 2 natural ones in a row. Yeah, and I was like, yeah, you fall off the cliff.
Yeah, you fall off and die.
And he's like, oh, can I grab on anything? I'm gonna grab a piton and cram it into the wall. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna unpack your bag as you're falling and panicking.
As you're falling.
And you let these fucking. By the way, you're letting these players get away with some of this fucking shit. You know, the nicest GMs in the world. Oh, speaking of which, can I piggyback off of that about a skill that I have actually learned?
Yeah.
It's basically a social skill. Relinquishing control. I used to be such a control freak. I used to be like so like, and it isn't like you know, an aggressive way necessarily, but like I used to want everything to be so perfect and go so perfectly. And running D&D at first flared it up worse because I was like in control of everything. You're like, oh, this has to happen here and this has to happen, and when they do a fireball, this will happen, and then a wizard will come in, and then this is gonna, and then just being brute forced to have everything you plan go wrong, to have everything you want to happen never fucking come close to happening. Having natural ones that you roll on your big bad evil guy when he's monologuing, kill them, you know, that kind of stuff taught me so much about just like let go. Stop worrying, stop stressing about this thing, stop being so like controlling.
Well, I want to
oh, sorry, go ahead.
I want to piggyback off of what Brad said, because you do this, PB. This is a thing that I think
you're a control freak,
good at.
and you need to fucking let go.
Yeah, you need to fucking chill.
So PB is really good at sort of injecting ideas to the players that will kind of not railroad them, but like give them options that will lead them to a close area that she wants to go to. It'll be very vague, but PB is excellent at this. I've seen this from the player perspective. She did it a lot in Blade Runner. She'd be like, don't forget this, guys. And it'll just be a vague thing. It'll be a vague concept or whatever. Hey, don't remember this thing. I'd love to touch on this if we can for this episode. And she won't tell us how to get there. She won't do any of that stuff, but PB's really good at that. And I feel like I try to develop that because of the experiences that I've had with you.
Oh. Help me.
You were going to say something.
I left my body. What are you talking about?
All right. Well, we can piggyback off of a piggyback. Ribs. Stupid. Why to the next?
Piggyback. I'm sorry, I can't make it work, Brad.
The next question from Murgles says, question, exclamation part, exclamation point, colon. When you first started GMing, were there any worries or stresses you had that you realized didn't matter at all once you got into it? Which I think is pretty close to what we were just talking about, but I think I have different answers for.
I'm sorry, I'm thinking really hard.
Yeah, any worries or stresses you had that you realized didn't matter at all once you got into it? To be honest with you, as someone with like a fucking clinical anxiety disorder at this point, every single worry doesn't matter once you get into it. Yeah. That's just everything for me at all times. That could be GMing something that I'm nervous about. It could be, you know, some bullshit that I've got to do next week. Once you get to it, it's never, ever, ever as bad as the version of it in your head. The way that you're worrying about it and catastrophizing about the possible ways it could go horribly. It's never as bad. So I don't know if... And
also, it could be the best thing ever, you know? If you're like, oh my God, if I forget this thing, the worst thing could happen. Well, you could also forget a thing, and then in that space, you have to make something up on the spot, and it's better than you could have ever imagined. So just... You know, it is one of those things where it's like you got to let it go, really. It's
that control thing. I mean, for me, it is very much like, and I've found myself even recently falling into a bit of a trap that is, I think, a very classic DM trap of like over prepping and
Yeah.
and really being like, man, they have to get to this point, or I really need them to go to this mountain, or I really have to make sure they finish this fucking Underdark thing because I'm running out of like page. And it's like you start to get a bit too producery and a bit too, I've only got, you know, X amount of episodes left and stuff, and you start fucking with it in that way. And then you take a bit of the organic process out. So you're starting to worry and stress and overwrite and over prepare every dungeon, every encounter, every fucking session that you're about to run with like, this will happen in the first hour. And by the time they've done that, I've got to make sure they move on to this. And then for me, the thing that I hate about it is that I look back over a couple of weeks and I'm like, they didn't get any chance to roleplay. They were just doing all of my set pieces for me. And it's not that I was like handing them scripts, they were still role playing through it, but it was like they just did that puzzle, then they went straight into that combat, then they you know, then they had this like exploration thing that they did, and then they went to this thing, and I'm like, man, I actually get stressed about both the before and the over prepare, and then I get stressed about the fact that I fucking failed them and didn't let them just play their characters, and especially on these shows. Yeah. Because we have been every single person who's ever been on these shows, I honestly believe we could have just been like, you guys are in a tavern and say nothing else and leave for 2 hours and come back and no one would even notice that you weren't there because they could just fucking role play their characters. They could role play their characters so well that they could easily carry in that way. And I always feel like I'm in one camp or the other where I'm like not doing enough or I'm doing too much.
See, that's kind of where I sit too.
I hate that place.
When I listen, I hate that place also, but I'll like listen to you when I used to listen to Dustvale on my walk in the morning, and I remember the opening of that, listening to that, and this, I'm sorry in advance if this upsets you in any way because it's very complimentary, but I just remember listening to the opening of that, and then I had to go back and listen to it again because I just enjoyed the lore so much. And I remember thinking, like, if I did this, I would be freaking out because I talked for 20 minutes in the beginning.
Don't do it anymore.
But as a listener, I was like, this is the coolest fucking thing. And I was so into it. And from that, I went, I need to be better about that. And I remember Jay did it. He described, I don't remember what fucking episode it was, but he described this lake in such a beautiful way. He like took his time to describe the lake, and I went, I don't do that enough. I give
might have been Big Zags, or did you run
it was
Zags?
Ragtags.
I think I ran.
Yeah.
It was Ragtags then.
It was definitely Ragtags.
I remember it. I remember what you're talking about.
Yeah, I remember the fucking lake, and we might have been watching it together, Whack. And I was like, what the fuck? This asshole is so good. But yeah, But I remember thinking to myself, like, I need to be better about being able to speak to my players and taking the time to describe something when my instinct is to actually only describe like a smell and a sound. Like I'll hit the senses, maybe 2 of them, and then I purposely leave a little bit out so that they can fill it in their brain. And then maybe a minute or 2 later, I'll be like, okay, well, like I pass it off to the player as like a collaborative thing. But I think that, I think that's fine to do, but I do wish that I took more time sometimes to sit down and explain, what the Umbra looks like in Nibiru for you guys. Like I there are moments where I go, I don't think I talk enough. And then there are other times where I'm like, shut the fuck up, Pumpkinberry.
It's so
get out
annoying.
of the way and let them go.
I remember learning how to DM way back when I first was like, fuck, I have to run something because I want to play more D&D. And I was watching everything, the how to this, how to that, just everything to try and inform myself on how to do it. And I saw a thing where a guy was just like, okay, don't overdo it. Don't talk about absolutely everything in the scene. Just say 1 or 2 things. So you say like what time of day it is, what they smell, what they see. And when you're describing what they see, just say a church. You can give it some unique feature, but it doesn't have to be. You see a church with 4 windows and a steel roof. And it's very odd. It's got this gray.
I already like the second one though. I already like the 4 windows and the steel roof. I would sit and listen to that.
But if you do it for so
but maybe
long,
if not every scene.
I've had a criticism from a beloved player that was like, you can't describe it for that long because I'll turn off.
What?
ADHD brain.
Roast them right now. Fucking rip them apart. Who was it?
It was you. I'm kidding.
I was really hoping you would say that. I set it up so that you would be like, it was you, bitch. And if you had taken any longer, I would have said, please say me.
I don't.
I'm just kidding.
I don't think it's wrong. I think that there is a perfect balance between just over-explaining everything in the scene and everything like that, and under-explaining. If you don't explain it enough,
then they have to ask follow-up questions.
They're like, "What do you mean? We're inside of a giant serpent?" And you're like, "What?"
Yeah.
What do you mean you're inside of a giant serpent? You're in a
Mm-hmm.
town. What the fuck are you talking about? You know, like.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing to think about with like exposition and explaining the scenes. If there is a combat that's happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
My favorite shit is when players do things outside the box.
Yes.
And sometimes you need to describe the things that are in a room or in a place so that their brains can go to those out of the box ideas.
Yep.
Hey, this is a warehouse. There's big shipping containers. There's crates. There's cranes.
That was
you know, if you
CBO.
add these set, you add these
where
set
we
pieces,
did the thing, right? Sorry, I'm so sorry. That was ZBO where we did the. Was that ZBO? I'm sorry, I'm freaking out.
What? You haven't said anything.
Where we did the Metal Gear Solid hide in a box on the
it was
thing.
ZBO. Yeah.
That was so cool. Okay, I totally forgot about that. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
But my point is, you're the way that you're describing the exposition to explain a scene. That perfect balance is difficult to get because you need to get players in that headspace. There's stuff in this room. What do you want to do? Because how often do players like take cover behind the pillar and like I'm going to
introduce it so much more to stuff so desperately.
It's the top thing that I want to do in combat the most is give people options. Please just don't run into the combat. I cast non-global fireball.
Dude, I put environmental shit into every combat and it has
learned that from
never, ever been used. Ever.
Yep.
No one has ever taken half cover.
That's not true.
It has not been used enough that I can remember it.
That's not true. Yeah, okay, that's fair. That's fair.
When I was playing, Candle, and I was doing the hiding, I tried to keep an eye on what's going on the map. I'm going to hide behind this thing. I don't think I can do this just from the map. And I'd ask you, is this the thing that I can actually hide behind?
Yeah.
The
hide stuff and the cover stuff.
Yeah.
I'll tell you another thing that this is just completely off the thing as well. But elevation we never get to do because we're using bird's eye.
Chord's elevation bullshit in Spellwind was phenomenal.
It was phenomenal, but it wasn't worth it the way he did it when he was copy pasting the little elevation markers. He did it.
Foundry would have made it so much easier for him. Oh my god.
Elevation.
You just have a little box that you just type in the elevation. That's it.
Yeah, but he also, I do appreciate the fact that he tried to take it isometric, which
he had really cool things.
Ironically,
that we
would
did
work
in
really well in
Spellwind,
Foundry as well, in a similar way to how Wack is doing main character. No, I'm not going to try and teach Cord anything. Can you imagine trying to teach Cord something?
It's like me, but
he's like
3 times
all of the
as
Animaniacs
crazy.
in one person.
In one.
Such a good reference. Oh my god.
Oh
no.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
All of the
God,
Animaniacs wrapped up in Jeff Goldblum.
Holy
shit.
How did you take a perfect roast and make it better?
Just because I got a second shot. Those things I really would love to be able to do
that athleisure wear, and I'll give you a second.
Speaking of though, one of the things that I am trying to do with my next campaign, which is why I'm so convinced it's going to be just a stunning failure and letdown for everyone, players, me, viewers, everything, is that I'm undoing a lot of the stuff that I was just saying that stresses me out and worries me, that I fall back on particular, I don't know, just comfortable things and ways that I will GM something. And the orthodox way to GM a D&D game has almost completely left me at this point, and I'm just fucking completely off the rails to the point where
You're running a PB game.
yeah, but it's not even good. So
Okay.
it's like I'm just completely freeballing this thing, and I want to go
Imagine
back
that in the
to
trailer. A PB game, but it's not any good.
but no good. That would have been if I think if I
fake reviews in the trailer.
It's better than average.
I'll put it in the trailer for this
It's almost average.
because
yeah, not quite, but
I think
almost.
if
Domestic Dan.
if I
I
don't
would have been in the
do-
show, but I decided against it. I was going to be in the show, but then he told me the premise.
But I think if I don't do what I'm doing next, I would be in danger of literally that. Like I want to do, I want to go back to that feeling that I had like way back 2015, 2016 of like learning how to do all of this stuff and looking at stuff and going, okay, so I'm just supposed to describe one thing I see, hear, and smell. And that will be, you know, just try and think of things like that to do and like really rely a bit more on improv and less set piece things and over prepping stuff. So like this is what I'm attempting next, and it's just going to be a disaster because I have spent so long hyper tuning and hyper perfecting stuff because we keep raising the fucking bar. You two keep fucking raising the bar really for me, and I'm like, I don't think I can match this. And so I'm like, I won't.
Giving up.
I won't. I'm just going to have to. I can't keep up with how good you two are at this anymore, to the point where I now have to just go back to school live. I have to relearn how to do this in front of everyone as a show because I haven't got time to do it between now and my next show. And that's what this next show is. It's not really like that sounds like that's the actual show, but it is kind of where my head is at for this. I'm exclusively trying to reteach myself those fundamentals, basically. I feel like I've lost a lot of my fundamentals because I've just fallen on the fact that I've been doing it for so long.
I think they're just actually fundamentals to you now. And so it feels like you've lost them. But if you needed, you know, they're just embedded in you now. At least that's kind of how I feel when I'm jamming, because it's to the point now where I'm like, you know, I feel underprepared, but it's really just that I have the experience under my belt. And so I don't need to worry so much about, you know, that feeling doesn't, that weird panic feeling doesn't exist anymore, because I, you know, like I just know that exists somewhere in there and that I'd be okay. I do have a question for you though, Whack. What the fuck are you two doing? What is happening? What?
Just check the channel. You'll see what we're saying to each other.
Yep.
Yeah. It's because of this exact thing we're talking about.
Yes,
Right? Like this is exactly what
perfect.
I'm doing. Have I not told you the beginning?
No.
Oh God.
After this,
Okay.
PB, remind
After
me to
this.
tell him.
Yeah. Okay, but hold on. So I have a question for you, Whack, because Brad just answered it by saying that's kind of what he's focusing on in this game. But do you have games where you go into it saying, this is what I want to work on as a GM in this game? Like, I know I had one for Blade Runner. Yeah.
For sure.
So, yeah, I think that's a really good
If I'm honest,
question.
I don't do that, by the way.
I do.
I don't. I just go into it like this is what I want to do. And I don't think about things that I want to improve upon as a GM until this new show, which is probably why I've ended up here. Left it.
I know that for Blade Runner, I knew that I wanted to do more NPCs because I purposely did not do a show that had NPCs usually. I mean, Nocturne, I didn't do it because there's a horror element to it, so you need a little bit of the fear and we're the only ones around kind of feeling.
I
so I did it purposely for
the
Nocturne.
same promise after Cura.
Yep,
you know?
and I did this. I did it purposely in Gone. There's obviously reasons for it in Gone. But then after that, I was like, I just, like I don't know if I don't want to take up the space on the floor for my players by role playing myself. Like I'm the GM, I'm there to facilitate, and I don't want to.
Yeah. On the flip side, you could have Whack who plays a fucking
All the
entire
characters.
council.
Oh, it was so good. But
I do it for the setup.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I know that specifically in Blade Runner, I
Well,
was
PB
like,
would have just had fucking 14 guest stars come in with.
I do like to do that.
Yeah.
I do like
It'd
to
be
have
you're
another player
You're the
come
counselor
in.
of this. You're this one.
Yep.
You're the weird dragon.
Or I would have just pre-recorded a thing and
the
played it.
sexy
Yeah, for
dragonborn
sure.
counselor.
Mm-hmm.
I remember her name.
Yeah, I do like to have other people come in, but some of that is just because it's like it's an opportunity to play with each other. Like everybody gets a chance to role play, and then who wants to do that? And I just don't like. I don't necessarily like taking up that space. Yeah. But I did go into Blade Runner saying this is fucking Blade Runner, and there are some iconic side characters in Blade Runner and in Blade Runner 2049 that. Like I have to be willing to do that and be okay to do that. And I felt like I did not think I could do it. And then I do feel like I managed to pull that off. Like when Whack gave me like basically a summary of his little informant or whatever. And then I just kind of had to like play that character. I didn't shy away from doing that. And I think I would have otherwise. So I was pretty proud of being able to pull that off. Ripple. That's right. The other two characters that I played predominantly in there, like Nat and the other one. I almost spoiled Blade Runner. Anyway.
Nat and the...
All right. Well.
Cool.
What a great...
What up, Pumpkinberry?
What a great... set of answers. We never got to PB's finger story.
Yep. I found a finger in the woods once in a can.
Fucking Christ.
Yep.
Can
found
you...
a finger in a can of beans.
One fucking earlobe
Yep.
is like, oh, this is
Enough.
random. An earlobe and a finger is a pattern.
Yep. God hates me.
Or you're
Jesus
a weird fucking
killer.
serial killer who's building some sort of Frankenstein's monster.
Uh-huh.
And these things happened to you when you were younger, so by now I'm guessing you have a lot of parts.
I've got it. Yep, and I almost got caught when I was pretending to get my Christmas tree put away.
That's what it was.
Yep.
You are actually making a really fucking... You remember we were talking about when the plot thing wraps around and comes together? This is us figuring out that you're legitimately the fucking the Zodiac or whatever.
None of this is real.
That's what she tells herself to justify the killings.
This is why she can't remember anything.
God.
It's the only way that she can handle it all.
Yeah.
That's February for you.
They'll find, like, when she's put away and they're making all the Netflix docs about her and stuff, they'll go through all of these shows and find that she had, like, weird clues in all of her fucking shows and stuff.
Oh, they were talking about all the mystery boxes and the clues that she left behind. And, God, there it was in front of us all along.
Oh, me and Whack would be under investigation.
And then it'll immediately
forever.
cut to some random person that I talked to one time. Oh, yeah, I knew there was something wrong about her.
Yeah, and it will be the woman that hit you with a car. I almost had her. That was your Will, Graham.
Oh, fuck. Holy shit, dude.
Wow.
Oh, God.
All right. Well, this has been non-effort.
You're my Will Graham.
It's the... Me?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to figure out that you're a serial killer.
You just did. I mean,
This was the moment. Right now. This was the moment.
My God.
You did it.
I am.
Congratulations.
God, it's Jason Bourne.
I was going to say something. I'm not going to say it. I'm going to end the stream. We are...
Thank you for your support, everyone.
Thank you for your support. It has partially gone towards funding the
Dragon
next
Riders
show. The Dragon Riders race show, which
Yep.
I will go on record as saying I think has now gone into pre-production.
Yep. 2 DMs of like.
I think.
Yep.
I think we were just looking for the final little piece of that puzzle there, and
Yep.
we hit it. Thanks to Alvin and the fucking chipmunks as well.
Your reaction. You mean Alvin, Simon, and Thea?
I was like, this has to be a lost in translation thing that's happening where
And then I was like, yeah.
there's some sort
Oh
of like
my
really
God.
high heady show that, you know. Yeah, so
if we have Cord back on, we gotta have him run the fucking Animaniacs special episode.
Holy shit,
just do it
dude.
himself. Yeah, we just put him on camera.
Yeah.
We just put him on camera. He won't even know.
I still
that he's
want to
on
do
screen.
whack GM's one shot where only he is in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I still think we should do that. I think that'd
be
be
a
great.
stupid amount of money because it would destroy me for like
Yep, for like a week. Yeah.
When whack,
So you're saying now is the best time to run that when you've only got one show going.
I have to do the friggin' wild RP situation in the next
You are
2
correct.
weeks, probably.
You are
so
correct.
true.
You are correct.
Because PB's
Oh,
addicted
boy.
again.
Yep.
And
yeah, PB's definitely going to play with you.
I will.
PB will be there.
I will. I'll plan it. I have a cool idea already.
No reason she wouldn't be there. Just not picking up on my other name at all. The Whack runs himself through an entire one shot, I think should be the top goal of Whack's own non-canon Don't Die thing.
You think?
Yeah.
Of Whack, but then he'll be running the show as well. He'll be running that show and another show.
It's
and
hilarious.
It'd destroy him.
Well,
How about we?
One
how
thing-
about we just put
destroy
it,
myself. is
How
the-
about we just
the
put it
joke.
as a goal for Don't Die?
one thing we will definitely we have to guarantee for him is that in the run-up to his show, he has to almost die. Because if you don't fall sick and stressed out and have some sort of like, I don't know, fucking family
Yeah, it's
emergency or
weird.
something,
Yeah.
it's cursed.
This Friday slot.
The
It's
Friday
cursed.
slot, if you're told you have to run a show in it, the 2
better
weeks
get
before it
sick.
happens, you will have the worst time of your life. You'll fall ill.
Well, if we schedule Wild RP, it's not far from the gym.
Oh, you're so terrible. Roll the credits.
I'm going to start rolling the credits, but it will take a good long time for them to kick in.
A good
Again,
minute and a half.
these are-
Unlike the sugar rush for me.
yeah, how does that feel?
Oh, I feel exhausted. I want to lay down and sleep forever.
Are your feet still hot?
No, I'm good. I'm regulated now. But for a minute, I thought my feet were sweating, bro. I was like, I'm
That's
going to die.
crazy.
I'm going to have a heart attack.
I'm unbelievably
This
boiling
was
in my house as well today.
Way
It
too
is-
much sugar.
It is 24 degrees in here. Like I do not understand what is happening in the the floors below me.
Question. If we were the chipmunks, which one would be which?
Oh my god.
I'm definitely Theodore, right? I'm the little
The little annoying one. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Wax
Alvin.
the super smart one, which means
Yeah.
I have to be the
Yep.
fucking boring Red Ranger.
What Whack is Simon, you're Alvin, and I'm Theodore.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
No
Are we still
question.
live?
We are still live. Next
Hope
week, everybody, will be PB's
Yes. Don't die.
Don't Die.
Roll the trailer.
Thank you, everybody, for coming out and watching the stream. Thank you so much for the tips. We really do appreciate
He's
it.
just
And
gonna
it
use her
goes
regular
towards,
voice for the chipmunks.
Yeah. And here to present the trailer for Don't Die, it's
It's me.
Theodore.
Oh, that's so cute.
It's you. Present the
Oh, me.
trailer.
What? Okay. This is the trailer for Don't Die for next week, and I'll see you at Friday, 3 p.m. And we're gonna have a great time and try not to die.
See you at Friday, guys.
Shut up.